Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of the Chronicles of Nidum, presented by Dice of the Beholder, running and streamed by Heavyweight Gaming. Welcome again to our new home, which isn't so new anymore, I suppose. But thanks for sticking with us, and thanks for joining us again on this fun adventure and journey that I designed for my friends, well, to punish my friends, really. Because I get off on it. But before we go into the game, I would like to draw your attention again to, hang on, I'm always confused as to, that way? That way, yes, I got it right. The link's down there, basically. It is the month in question. At the end of this month, for 48 hours, from the 28th until the 30th, noon till noon, this channel will be in conjunction with lots of creators, lots of players, lots of collaborators, running a charity stream event. Lots of gaming, much geekery, lots of dice will be involved. Please come along, support the channel, and if you can, no pressure, but if you can, please click on the link or follow the link down in the corner. And if you can, give to one of the great causes that has been chosen for this event to support. But yes, that is coming up in just over 2 weeks, I believe. Apart from that, let's say hello to the players. 80.
Hi.
Hey, there's everyone. Awesome. Okay.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I'm just posting on our Instagram that I've got the puppy with me.
Okay. Last time then, on Chronicles of Nidum, you finally breached the floor of old Londinium below, and found yourself in, I suppose, the lobby, or your first foray into the Underdark. It was a strange alien landscape, darker than you were used to, but
it's gravy time.
Your artificer designed two lots of goggles of night, so the humans among you had no issue. You walked for what seemed like an age, tunnels giving way to caverns, giving way to strange, winding serpentine tunnels that seem to have been created by a creature of some sort. You were told, and the information was given, that those tunnels were created by purple worms, giant creatures, to confuse any map that they may have had. Those worms, controlled by the drow, would have created new tunnels and collapsed old ones, making it even more difficult for you to find the drow city. You did come across, when you were split up, you came across eventually what was, to the elves at least, a familiar cavern, much larger, filled with an underground lake and some ruins that you perceived, or that Sepsis' familiar perceived. And when telling that to the elves confirmed that this was a landmark that they at least recognized, and following your lead, went back to that room. Upon reaching the room, you discovered that it was not as empty as
it's gravy time.
The Umber Hulk that you saw disappear earlier, oh no, sorry, the Zorn that you saw disappear earlier, now, in fact, you realize had been eaten by a great tentacled worm from beneath the water. It killed the Durgar in your party, all three of them, and almost killed their half-elf slave, but apart from a timely intervention by your artificer friend.
Priorities.
After eventually killing the Aboleth and being congratulated by at least one of your employers, you were taken then to rest, a short one, before you would venture even further down into the darkness. And here you find yourself, at the end of your short rest. The rest of the adventurers with you on your journey, coming to the end of their short rest, finishing their rations.
They all think we're freaks because Ori hugged me and we both apologized and went woo woo with each other.
Yes, they have noticed you have a massive stand-up argument, and then have now seen you embrace.
I mean, nothing like almost ending up in a really weird hentai to really make you recalculate your relationship with people.
Nobody wants tentacle porn in real life.
No.
I mean, you can't really tell whether they're paying extra attention to you after that, unless you'd like to try.
Yeah, I would actually.
Okay. I'd like you to make me a perception check, then, please.
I noticed what's his face. Was it Anakin? Not Anakin, but
Kane.
Anakin.
Anakin, yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Kane.
21.
21?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
I want to notice two things, actually. Sorry. I want to know if they're staring at me and Ori, and I wanted to know if the elves, you know, Kalen, I want to see if he looks abashed, like he's been told off by the commander and for being a cowardly wuss arsehole.
As you look around, then,
Shelf.
coming to the end of your short rest, as you look around, you notice that, first of all, very few are looking in your group's general direction. The halflings seem to be paying no attention whatsoever. The two hooded elves, not the knights, the two hooded elves, one of which is Kalen, are currently not looking in your direction, but seem to be much closer than they have been this entire journey. From what you can tell, they are whispering into each other's ears, but you cannot, they are too far away, even with that perception check, they're too far away for you to actually make out anything they're saying. Benkin, the elven knight who has been cordial to you all, at least, is currently in deep conversation with, well, you don't know how one-sided the conversation is, but he does seem to be in deep conversation, or at least using them as a sounding board, with the three automatons, the three large robotic creatures they brought as guards.
Is one of them handing his cloak and saber back? You dropped this.
Ankane, however, is currently with the orcs. He's not speaking to them. He seems to have taken himself to the water's edge, and the orcs seem to be standing a fair few feet back from him, but face towards you all, as if guarding whatever he's doing. You can make out, though, that he seems to be crouched down and is touching the water's edge. Kalen, however, as you see them whisper together, or once your eyes glanced over them, you do see that he doesn't look abashed or cowed at all. Frankie, no.
Oh, there's no reason why not. It's
Oh,
fine.
right, okay. I heard you then.
Okay, good. I was like, I haven't turned anything off. Ankane, can I see what he's doing, crouched down by the water's edge?
From where you are, he has his back to you, he's crouched down. The way his shoulders are slumped, it looks like his hand is extended out to the water. Apart from that, you cannot see anything. However, I will have a word with Sepsis later about what he notices, but they notice, but you cannot see what.
Listen, what I wouldn't give the creature to go and find out what's happening over there. Okay, fine. All right, there's nothing I can do with that. That's fine. It's not like I can wander up and go, "What you doing?"
I could.
Yeah, he wasn't too
if you
fond
told
of
me.
us.
Well, what's he doing over there?
Don't know. How do you want me to go find out?
Honestly,
She's probably not going to tell me, but I can try.
Ori, he's surrounded by orcs. I don't think that's a good idea.
The orcs
I'm
are
really
alright.
not bothered by orcs.
They look kind of protecty, though. I don't know. You can try.
I'm not threatening looking at all.
I have a horrible feeling he's trying to bring the Durga back as Walking Dead, but I could be wrong. I don't know what.
Would be cool.
Well, they have necromantic powers. We've discussed that previously, right? So
I can have a look. I wander over to him.
Okay.
I'm gonna wander up to it and just say, like, be careful you don't fall in.
As you walk over, then you get closer. The only way to effectively approach is to take a more circular route. I want you to roll me a perception check.
15.
Rory, that's really good.
As the orcs step in your way to block you from approaching, you do just notice between them that his hand is holding something submerged in the water, and you notice 3 dim flashes of green, like little will-o'-the-wisps under the surface of the water, approaching his hand, and then they just disappear. And then he stands and shakes water off his glove.
What was that?
The orcs blocking your way. In the middle of them is the only female orc that is standing, maybe a foot taller than you, looks down at you. Nothing to concern yourself, girl.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. You're cute.
Thank you.
How's the view from up there looking down here?
And she does give you a very amorous glance once over. Good.
Also, so you're his bodyguard?
Well, allies. We have extra deal.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing you wouldn't tell me what that is if I asked.
Maybe we have extra deal, and we'll see.
What kind of deal?
Well, we might be down here for a long time. I have not enjoyed myself in a long time. These two, and she points at both the towering orcs next to her, and then kind of glances down at their crotches. Do not do it for me.
Oh, that is such a shame from an orc.
They both look, as well as she speaks. They don't look angry. They just look sad. They both kind of just, as she says it, they both kind of just they kind of look down and just this resigned shrug, like.
They try their best.
Is it a size issue or is it a usage issue?
Skill issue.
Skill issue. I mean, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Or have you tried asking him? And I point to Angie.
Too small, too big.
Yeah, I get that.
You're like Bruce. Beautiful Bruce. Got in war. 3 days healed.
And I bruise.
What color do your bruises go?
Dark.
You see, she's happily wondering. She's got a smile on her face.
How about you find out?
We will find dark cave.
Yeah, I'm not too bothered about privacy.
And then, do you speak Orcish?
I believe I do.
I think you do.
I do. I speak Orc.
Oh, I've never been so glad not to speak Orc.
She turns to the 2 people either side of her, or the 2 orcs either side of her, and in Orcish, you 2 will leave me alone tonight, and I will bed this one. She will probably enjoy herself, and from the looks of her, so will I. You two will stand guard. And you hear them both say, "Yes, princess," in Orcish.
I reply in Orcish, I'm sure I will enjoy myself, princess.
Both the male orcs look startled, but she just starts laughing, and it's a hearty chuckle, and she seems quite impressed. There is a sparkle in her eye.
Cool. And then maybe we can discuss details afterwards.
We'll see how good you are.
Yeah, we'll see.
Ankane walks over at this point and steps kind of in through a gap between them quite nimbly. Can I help you?
Unless you're interested in seeing what an orc and a tiefling going at it look like, then probably not. You're welcome to join. I'm worried you'll get hurt.
Not really my thing, but
Pity.
I'm sure we'll, these caves echo. I'm sure we'll all hear at least how much you both enjoy it.
Oh, you won't need the cave echo to hear it.
Right, was there anything else?
No, I was interested in what you were doing at the water's edge and the green lights and things, but this is far more interesting. I just point at the orc.
Oh, I was saying a prayer for our lost Durgar friends.
Oh, that's incredibly sweet of you.
Well, I'm that kind of guy.
Okay.
I will speak to you later.
Yes,
And
hopefully.
he stalks off back to Benkin.
I look at the female orc again and go, I've got to screw one of those two. I just point to Benkin. Okay. At some point, it's got to happen.
Older bearded one looks more experienced.
Yeah. He looks like he'd be more fun as well. I feel like the other one would be a pillow princess. Needy. That, yeah. Yeah.
Whiny.
Oh, yeah. Nobody needs that.
We must pack.
Yes. I like being the brat. I don't need a brat. I'll see you later.
Ace is already packed. They've just been phasing
Halfway in.
out all of this the whole day.
I walk back over to everyone and go, okay, so he was praying.
That sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. Good to know.
Whatever. I'm not going to be at camp tonight.
I gathered. And then more furious packing.
He's pretty.
I didn't doubt that she was.
She's a princess.
Oh.
You realise at this point, by the way, I zoned out completely and was staring off into the distance at the automatons, watching all the gears move, and had not heard a single word that was happening.
Ace wasn't trying to listen, it just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a princess, so that's a duchess and a princess off my list.
Sorry, I go, who's a princess? What?
The orc.
Okay. What
I'm
about
interested to know that they have hierarchy.
I just grin.
a conquest.
She has an extra deal with Ankane.
Oh.
So we've struck up our own deal. So if
To
you
get
will excuse
information
me.
or for... Okay.
I kind of wonder...
I've packed all of your stuff at this point as well. I've ran out of things to pack.
Oh.
If they're concealing
Ace.
if they're concealing him, what do they get out of the deal?
That's kind of what I'm hoping to find out.
Good luck.
Deals with benefits.
As everyone begins to finish packing up, not as quick as Ace has done, but everyone eventually finishes packing up. Benkin walks over to you. May I approach?
Yeah.
There has been talk amongst the rest of our group over the marching order from here on.
Okay.
I have been outvoted, it seems. And because of your diverse makeup and your skill in seeing off the Aboleth,
Do they want us at the front?
Or the back?
they would like you to go first.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Seems about right.
Because I prefer to have you nearer us, as our mission is in fact the most important, have elected to go with you.
Oh.
And we will take at least one of the automatons with us against the wishes of someone who should learn his place. He doesn't actually glance over his shoulder, but you can see that he's twitching to
Implied.
look behind him. So whenever you are ready, we will make our way.
Well, I think we're all packed up and ready to go, so
Ace is a
Already
master
gonna-
packer.
let's lead the way.
Very well. From here on in, we should probably, and you hear a loud cough from behind him. And Ankane kind of strides out into the center of all of these separated groups. It's been decided that Sepsis and Oriana will take their ragtag group first into the tunnels.
Yeah, we've
Because
just discussed that.
Because they may need looking after. We had a discussion and decided that Benkin will go with them for support and to make sure some act as they should. He stares at the half-elf who's still sitting near you.
I slide slowly in front of her and stare back.
He just stares at her for a second and then glances away. It will become more dangerous the further down we go. These dark elves, though it tastes like ash in my mouth when I even infer that we are related to these creatures. They are traitorous.
Related to a demon.
They are traitorous, they are vile, they are demonic in nature. Present company, of course, accepted. But you must all be very careful as you proceed. Going from here on in should be slow, steady. Check for tracks, watch your back, and good luck.
Rich,
Yeah.
would we know, are the drow demonic in nature? I thought they were just race of elves.
Well, roll me a nature check.
I'd be delighted. Okay, that is 18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, quite from your teachings, you were taught quite a lot about the elves, and at least in ancient times, the many different races of them. You just weren't taught that they were a totalitarian government that hated humanity. One of those sects of elves was the Drow. Originally, they were all part of the same kingdom. There was no war. There was friendship, kinship. Drow treated with elves as they did with humans, and they just preferred to live underground. And they followed a not darker, but a different side of nature.
Can I quietly say to Benkin, then, if it's not going to cause difficulties for your hoped-for treaty, if Enkin insists on calling the drow demonic and generally being horrendously offensive, I would imagine their entire race.
That is why I am the diplomat, and he is the war commander.
Oh, I was going to say pretty face, but...
When it comes time for speaking, he will know his place.
Are you sure?
I hope so.
There are other endeavors in these tunnels that he will concentrate on, I feel.
I would suggest we keep him as far away as possible.
So, everyone else, you glance around, they're all looking at you expectantly. There's a tunnel ahead, maybe about 50 feet away.
Okay.
Shall we go?
Let's go.
Yep.
Would you like to go in front, or would you like me to go off ahead?
I don't like walking up ahead. You can keep me company if you want.
I'm good at tracking, so you may wish to place me slightly ahead of you and Ariana, perhaps.
Well, this is Rex, and he pats the automaton next to him. He prefers to go in front. And
I bet he does.
Down here, his skills tend to be diminished by having people clattering up his line of sight.
And I guess Rex goes in front.
Very well. And he nods, and the automaton kind of makes a short bow of the head to you all, and you can hear it trumping, and stalks off towards the tunnel. As he gets to the tunnel, strange motion kind of happens with his legs, and the footsteps almost entirely disappear. There's no sound as he advances.
Ooh.
I say to Benkin as well, we're not generally that stealthy as a group, just FYI. And I sort of glance at Ace's armor.
Speak for yourself, I can fly.
You're fine.
I mean, wings make noise too.
Flappy, flappy, flap.
Not the same as feet on the ground.
Or metal on metal.
As long as we are watchful and alert, I do not feel that stealth will help us much down here anyway. We have merely adopted the darkness. They were born in it.
That sounded so cheesy, Meg.
I'm with Aiden. Shoot me now. I'm going to put my kids to bed. You carry on without me.
Let's get a move on.
Yes, edit it.
Veto it, take it out, take it.
That was going to be an entirely different line until that moment, in fact.
Your Bane suddenly took over your soul. You were possessed for a moment.
So, you follow Rex into the tunnel. Who's going behind Rex?
I will.
Okay.
I'll be up in the front since I've got my goggles now.
Okay. It's about, the tunnel's about 10 feet wide, so you can have two walking abreast, quite, not uncomfortably. Two can walk next to each other. So you want to have Rex, Oriana, Ace.
Then
Cedric.
either Cedric or Benkin or
Okay.
Yeah.
Dice.
Benkin will go then. Cedric will go next to
Dice.
Seps. Actually, I was going to say sepsis, and then
That
Dice
would not happen, and you know it wouldn't.
Yeah, all right. Cedric can go next to Dice, and
Oh yeah, does
Sepsis.
Sepsis want to go next to me?
Sepsis doesn't get a choice, and the half elf bring up the rear. So as you advance on down the tunnel, the room you just left, the one in which was the large underground lake, the Aboleth that you fought, the ground was relatively flat. The lake itself seems to have been formed from the ruins that you saw from a town that had been submerged in water. You appear to have been walking along maybe an aqueduct to get around it, or at least a large wall. Even where you then had a long rest seemed to be almost paved, like it was an entrance to the town long drowned. Now though, as you advance, you notice that instead of a steady, level plain, there is obvious descent. You kick stone, and while it doesn't look like the tunnel it's not steep, it's not descending directly into you, but as you kick loose stone and dust, it seems to continue to roll and roll and roll gradually before settling. So you are heading down, down, down. You feel the heat rising, even as the walls look slicker, wetter. There is a cold breeze that chills you as you continue onwards. But apart from the gentle breeze that comes every maybe few minutes or so, the heat is gradually increasing. There is no light. And eventually, through one of these winding tunnels, you come to a cavernous space. It's maybe about 40 feet wide, not tall. You're ducking out of the way as stalactites kind of hang down above you. However, there are no stalagmites. The ground is cleared. It's broken stone, gravel.
Stalagmites or stalactites?
Stalactites are hanging down above you. There are no stalagmites on the floor to meet them. They have been broken and crushed. There are 4 exits from this room, not including the one you've come into.
Can I have a really good look at the stalactites?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure there's no ropers.
Because we have trauma.
Oh, robots!
Trauma.
Well, I'm very aware that we already went past a roper corpse, so we know there's ropers within here. So I am very, very aware that they're there. What am I rolling?
A perception check.
18.
As far as you can tell, they are solid stone.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on them. I don't trust them.
Benkin,
Which way?
Benkin stops for a moment. This is new. If you will allow me, and he closes his eyes and starts to breathe rhythmically.
I just start looking at my compass.
Gently. He opens his eyes again after maybe a minute. There is nothing I can sense in any direction, nothing living anyway.
You're quite spiritual, aren't you?
You could say that.
So, do we do the same as last time? Split into groups, 20 minutes in each direction, come back?
Can any of you track effectively? Unfortunately,
Sometimes.
myself and Rex are not the best.
I can try. What exactly am I looking for?
Tracks. The direction life has most recently passed.
I'll try. Can I try?
Yeah.
I don't trust that dice. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, that's not bad. 21.
You what? Okay. As the 4 exits span in front of you then, you crouch down, start to look at the ground. And you can almost immediately see the lines below you of where things have been dragged. Not in the creation of the cavern, but you can see through the gravel where almost a rake has been dragged to try and subvert or destroy footprints. You can then, and as you back up towards one of the new exits that you found, you can almost imagine yourself standing in the shoes of someone holding this rake, reaching over to your right to get a footprint, reaching over to your left to get a footprint. They're not connected, but these rake signs almost fan out from a singular point. and then stop. And as you stand where they've stopped, you look behind you, and it is the second exit on the right, which seems to be the one they've backed out of.
That's fun.
Very well. Please lead the way.
Start walking.
Yeah.
So what deity is it that you follow, or?
Unfortunately, the secrets of the elves are not easily shared with those not of our race. There are, of course, the normal deities, the regular deities, Silu, Pelor. But for the most part, the one above all, those are secrets that we keep to ourselves.
Fair enough.
However, my powers, I do not believe, are given to me by divine right.
No.
The skills I have are from contemplation. They are my own.
You've worked for them.
I have studied and harnessed my own energies.
Similar, I guess.
I certainly had to do a lot of self-reflection. I don't see that it's much different to what you're doing.
I was bored with it.
As he advances, he doesn't make eye contact with you, Ace, over his shoulder, or standing next to you, but he does nod in your direction. You are a follower of the old gods.
Of Odin and Thor, more specifically.
We had not thought that any of their power still lingered on this plane.
Just for those who listen.
Since they all perished so long ago, but it appears that at least some of it does.
Not some things that are said to be dead are actually gone.
That is true in a great many ways, I fear.
I feel closer to mine with every step down we take.
Are you a follower of the old gods as well?
Different old gods. One in particular.
Might I know the name of said god?
But generally people don't take well to it.
Get me out of this and all of your sins are absolved, remember?
God of the dead, Hades.
Ah, yes. Perhaps one that might even still be around. Though, you are very far afield to be a worshipper of Hades.
He finds you no matter where you are.
Apparently. And what about you, Tinker?
Oh no, you're going to ask my god's name and I've immediately forgotten it.
Are you religious?
I am. I know I am. I just can't remember who my god is. Hang on.
It comes to you.
Don't judge me. I really should have expected this and looked it up before you asked me. What the hell is his name? He's the smith and tinkering god of the gnomes. Someone help me.
The Tinker Boy.
The Tinker Boy, yeah. I could just call him that, I guess, but he probably wouldn't like it. Oh, for God's sake, there we go. Yes, I spent a lot of time amongst gnomes. It's where I learned to build things and blow things up. They were big followers of Flandel Steelskin. I can't even say his name. Flandel Steelskin.
Ah. And he does actually glance over at you and kind of looks you up and down. You are taller than I would expect a worshipper of Flandel Steelskin to be.
That's actually how we met as children.
Gnomes.
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 We're both raised by gnomes.
I mean, technically,
I was raised by a human.
Technically, my parents were human, but I was
Yes.
mostly raised by the gnomes. My parents were quite elderly.
And where were you raised?
I think that's a conversation for another time, don't you?
You have your secrets and we have ours.
I suppose an answer to that question was too much to expect, but
Optimism.
you can't blame me for trying.
If it
Don't
helps,
ask, you won't know.
If it helps, it's a place that no longer exists. It's gone.
Yeah. There's not many places that raise humans as an equal that would survive.
Not anymore.
You mean you have never been slaves?
No.
Like I said, we've been best friends since we were children.
And he glances down, and you can see him looking at your wrists.
What about it?
Strange affectation for those who have never been slaves.
Sadly needed.
It allows us to fit in and to blend. However, I assure you, no one has the... we are safe with these.
I might not look it, but I'm quite old. Old enough to remember, even though I was a very small child at the time, a time when our people were friends, and yours was much more numerous. And you were not an oddity or a novelty, dear. And he looks at Oriana.
Oh, that is some time ago.
There were families of you, and my old master, when I was an apprentice, after the destruction, the disappearance of 2/3 of your race through a great magical explosion, he remembered a great deal. The friends he had made in your race, the loves he had had. I have always been at odds with my peers in their treatment of your people. I've tried to instill those same ideals in my friend here, but unfortunately, youth. Well, he is very young in comparison and feels that he knows it all, and it's difficult to teach him. Though I still try.
All you can do is try. I've been meaning to thank you, actually, for the way you treat my friends. It's refreshing.
Novel.
I have
Nice
never
that you
believed.
tried.
I have never believed that any living creature, any living sentient creature, should be a slave of another, or that they should be blamed for the apparent actions of one of their own 2,000 years ago.
May I ask you a question?
Of course.
From what we have seen, or from what I know, elves used to have a great connection with nature. Those were the powers used most frequently, were those granted by the energy present in nature. A lot of the elves we've encountered since leaving our home seem much more inclined to use darker powers. Even
something unnatural.
Not natural at all, and the connection with nature seems to have faded. The majority of your race seems to age, unlike perhaps yourself.
I suppose you can see now why many of my race treat yours as they do. It was the destruction, the event that separated 2/3 of your race from this plane, never to be seen again, and closed the doors to all of the other planes. Sorry, before I lose my train of thought. Our energies, our powers, our life did not come from nature. It came from the Feywild, our connection to it. We are no longer connected to it. And we are banished from the one place on this plane that could be.
Nothing west of Avalon.
And he repeats
There's nothing west of Avalon.
There is nothing west of Avalon.
No.
Does he say it like he's saying it by rote, or does he say it like he's saying it deliberately?
He mechanically.
Mechanically, it's the same. Okay. Where is the one place you could be connected to the Feywild? I'm sorry to ask so many questions. You're the first person who's been willing to give us information or speak with us.
Have any sort of conversation.
What information I can share.
Thank you.
Not protected by my oath to the Order. I will. We cannot venture or set foot on the Isle of Avalon.
Why?
Where the Fae lived, we've been told this, I think.
The Fae have banned all but Fae from traveling there safely.
Wouldn't that suggest, if they won't, just, this is speculation, if they won't even allow elves there, wouldn't that suggest the elves did something to upset them?
It has been pondered, it has been asked many times, but the answer has always been the same. It's the humans' fault.
What happened? What caused so many of us to disappear? I have another question after this. I'm sorry, I'm full of them today.
Do you not know your histories?
No.
We weren't taught them.
We had a sheltered upbringing.
Oh, well,
Also, a lot of people don't seem to know.
the kingdom of men in Albion was a great one. Albion was almost entirely populated by men. There were very few places of, I suppose, power for us, though they were revered and kept and well tended. There were a few forests we called our home. There were many good Samanseeli Fey creatures called Albion their home. But there was in that kingdom of men, which was one of the greatest kingdoms of men at the time, a seed of darkness and hatred. It bred throughout half of the kingdom. There was a civil war. Great atrocities were, I suppose, great atrocities can be attributed to both sides on that war. Many races were pulled into the fighting, and the great king of Albion at the time asked for a gift, not from the Fae, not from anywhere, but from the gods themselves, beings of immense power. That king promised to use that power for good, and they say he laughed at it, threw it back in their faces, demanded more, so that it wasn't enough. So, the gods, in their infinite wisdom, are said to have basically said to him, if you laugh at this gift of magic we have given you, we will take all of our gifts back. And there was a great light in the middle of the night that lit up the sky around the world as if it was midday for all. And all were joined in that moment as 2/3 of your race disappeared off this plane. Any of those who had traveled from other planes were stuck here, never to be able to return. Spells helping you jump between planes have not worked in 2,000 years. Small ones, little summonings of tiny creatures, familiars, pixies, that works, but they are dumb creatures that have very little to offer in the way of what is going on in their home planes. They do not remember much.
Who put this story out? I'm not saying it's not correct, I don't know, I wasn't there. But who gave this story? This version of events?
I believe it was a great wizard of your people, though some say he was an angel in disguise.
I have no idea. And history tends to be written by its victors anyway.
I cannot remember his name for some strange reason, but it was a wizard. I normally have an excellent memory. I wonder why that seems to have slipped my mind. And he starts to look confused.
Might have gone the same place as everywhere.
What's west of Avalon?
Avalon.
There's nothing west of Avalon.
I went to Ori very quickly and go, what would happen if we wrote it on paper? Waved it.
They'd probably say it'll take the paper and write there's nothing west of Avalon next to it. It's bizarre.
I don't think that's his name, Adi.
No, Aid. I wonder if it was Malcor.
Melkor.
It's the last question I had to ask, because I know I've quizzed you a lot and I thank you for your time, I really do. What powers the automatons? I know the answer. I would like to see what you say.
I am unsure. I have never been one for the tinkering of things or the technology. I leave that to others of the Order, others in the Empire. It is, if we return, you may, once we get to the continent, there are some gnomes I could direct you to who would probably be able to help with those questions.
I actually would like to speak with them, but that's not why I ask. The use of dead humans to power your automatons, to power your warriors on the front lines. How do you feel about that?
That is rumor and conjecture. That does not happen.
I've seen it.
I assure you it does. And the soul that powers your automaton there was human once. All of your automatons are human.
Roll a persuasion check. And you're both doing it, so either one of you can both roll it separately.
Ori.
Or one of you can roll with advantage.
Mine's plus 11. Can I roll it, please?
Yeah, I go on that with Ori being the main roller on that.
That is 27.
Okay.
Meditate on it.
I thought perhaps you could use some information back since you've given us so much.
That cannot be true.
I'm sorry.
Think about it.
Rex, stop a moment. And the automaton comes to a stop. Turn, look at me. Rex turns around. He kind of walks up to him and looks at the crystal on his chest, puts his hand over it and just closes his eyes. And his eyes, after maybe about 30 seconds, just shoot open in shock, and he takes a step back. And you can see there are tears in his eyes.
Everyone's got secrets.
I am so sorry, my friend.
He says that to Rex, yeah? I think he's okay, if that helps.
I am confused about apparently a great many things. I have a lot to think about, and will do so as we continue, if that is okay with you.
Of course. I just thought that someone should know. I will say your automatons are treated better than they were in life, and I suspect their souls are not at peace, but they don't seem unhappy.
It's gravy time.
From what we've seen. And the other thing, the raising of the dead humans to fight in battles. In places like Kadith, they are killing off vast swathes of humans using a plague, and they are reviving those humans. I will leave you with that huge information dump.
If there's a way I could show you what we've seen, I would.
Up to and including hand monsters. Monsters just made of human hands.
I had heard rumors, propaganda is what they called it, lies sown amongst the slaves to try and cause them to rebel about graves being dug up and bodies being used in death as they were in life as labor and soldiers, but I believed my superiors that they had not been.
Unfortunately, I think a great many lies have been told to a lot of people.
Perhaps then our mission of diplomacy is even more important now.
Interestingly, the one drow we met, we actually got, well, we met a Dryder. They were remarkably friendly, so it may...
You met a Dryder?
Yeah, I mean, if we're putting everything on the table at this point, I think...
survived?
Oh, they were lovely. They saved our lives from these monsters.
Very helpful, very sweet. It's incredible where being polite and friendly can get you.
It spoke?
Yeah.
Common? A language?
Yeah, they're intelligent. It's quite
I can't remember what language, but between us we speak quite a few. I mean, I speak Infernal, Undercommon, Orc, Elvish, Draconic, and Common.
It is said, or at least taught, that those perverted by the powers of the Demon Queen Loth are bestial in nature. They are little more than insects.
Yes, well, going by what your race thinks of humans...
I'll be honest, up until this point today, I like the Dryder a damn sight more than I like elves.
Just going to apologise if you can hear some really weird groaning noises.
The dog's snoring.
No, he's awake and throwing a tantrum.
Okay.
He's having a puppy tantrum.
And I had even more to think about than I thought moments ago. If we can continue on for now while I try and...
Yes, you try and sort out your head, we'll keep walking. Come on, Rex. I pat Rex on the shoulder.
Rex continues onwards, and you will follow.
Yeah, happily. I've quite enjoyed my information dump on poor Ben's head.
I would like everyone to roll a perception check.
I'm going to say, please don't say perception. Oh my god, it's not terrible again.
Perception? Was
21.
Perception.
22.
20.
Ooh,
20.
20. Yeah.
Not that, but 20.
Same.
Okay. As you move onwards then, there is a fork, brutal fork, left and right. The left moves further down. The right seems to level out. They're both dark. However, from the left, the gust of cool wind seems to bring a dampness, a very musty smell of rot. However, having travelled with sepsis for a long time and used to the smell of some of the things that they pull out of the pockets of their robes, you can sense fungus. There is a very heavy smell of mushrooms or fungus from the left hand. There is just the smell of damp and wetness from the right.
I sense fungus.
Smells musty.
Yeah, if you're smelling something, you're sensing it. Smell is one of the senses. You're sensing it.
I just enjoy the line. I sense fungus. Hey, Sepsis, it smells like your pocket's down there.
Yeah.
Which way would you like to go?
Ben, damp or fungusy? Or both?
You're the tracker, I believe.
All right. Can I see any?
I mean, they're not underwater creatures, are they? So maybe the fungus.
I'll see if I can see any footsteps. Hang on. 14.
14.
Yeah.
Can't really tell. There are tracks heading off in both directions.
At this point, Tori, I'm tempted to dip.
Fungus. My vote's on fungus. Should we take a vote from everyone? Fungus or damp?
I think Sepsis is going to say fungus.
100%. We're going towards the fungus. We could be wrong, but we'll see. I just picture Benkin sitting there going, "Okay, fungus. Yeah, whatever." I'm having a real bad day.
You can only be a fun guy, right?
Funny fungus.
You have at this point been walking for about 3 hours. In general conversation and just as Benkin contemplates what you said.
As he loses his religion.
Yep.
This is one part of my hair sectioned off from the rest.
As you take the left-hand tunnel and
Yeah.
start to move, the smell of mushrooms and rot gets even stronger. But there seems to be a sweetness to it as well. Like flowers, but no flowers you've ever smelled before. There seems to be a heavy spring smell ahead. And as you turn at least one corner, the tunnel does start to brighten. It's not a flickering light. It is a dim glow that seems to come from somewhere off ahead in the winding tunnel.
Does it feel like there's like air coming through, or?
There's not, apart from the cool breeze that comes through every once in a while, nothing has changed. Yeah, it does seem slightly thicker. And as you move past another corner and it gets brighter, and the tunnel starts to get a bit wider, it's about 20 foot wide now. You notice, as it has up until now with your dark vision and your goggles being varying shades of black and grey, you now see colours start to appear in small patches up and down the walls, lichen and fungus in many strange colours. You see a few mushrooms growing out of one section of the wall that bear an incredible resemblance to...
Is it in red and yellow and pink and blue?
Not all of the colours of the
non-existent rainbow.
Yeah.
Sepsis is definitely going to pocket some of those mushrooms.
Okay. They are of a species Sepsis has never encountered before.
Okay, we'll study them later, but they're going in the pockets for now.
Because people would have to eat, so heading towards where things grow actually makes a lot of sense.
There does seem to be, though, bright red moss. And as you turn another corner, you start to walk, and the air gets so thick that you notice just floating in front of your eyes, thousands and thousands of just large bits of pollen.
I can't even roll a nature check against this, can I? Because I've never encountered it. I just want to know if it's going to be toxic.
Sneeze.
Spores?
You can roll a nature check anyway.
Okay, let me try it.
I'm gonna try to.
I'm very
curious.
proficient with nature, so
That was a 3. Not getting me anywhere.
Mine was pretty good. 18?
18.
Yeah.
You know that fungus gives off spores. It breaks up, and a lot of it will float around in the air. You can't determine where the yellow spores in front of you have come from, because it's not a colour you've seen yet. But you do, there's almost a glow to the pollen. And as you stare off ahead, it appears that whatever you're walking to is as bright as dusk above.
Just as a precaution, I'm going to pull my cloak across my nose and mouth.
Everyone to roll a Constitution save. No, I'm joking.
I pulled my dice out ready.
I'd
then.
be
I was like,
so
okay.
sad.
I don't trust it, so I'm going to cover my face.
Ace is going to see you do that and follow suit on that.
I'm not.
You make a hard right, and suddenly the light in front of you brightens to the point where you can see hundreds of feet ahead. And it is hundreds of feet ahead and to the side, because the hard right you've made, you've walked out from a tunnel now into a huge cavern. Even in this light, you cannot see the ceiling above. You cannot see the opposite wall of this cavern. What you can see is huge stone columns, larger than any tree, larger than any building you've seen, including the giant crystal structures of the elves. It is massive. There are 150 feet across, supporting the ceiling above, and you cannot see the tops of these pillars. And there are hundreds of them stretching out as far as the eye can see.
It's gravy
Each
time.
pillar seems to be just strands of rock. And you can see they are almost like bridges. Further away, it just looks like a web made of stone. But everywhere as far as you can see, are huge, almost bushes of fungus. Some look like structures themselves, some towering over you, but as beautiful as works of art. But they are all, like every colour you could possibly imagine is down here. And some you've never even seen in nature. But they all exist in front of you.
Does it look cultivated?
It does not. With your nature check, no, it doesn't.
Okay. All right.
I want everyone to roll me a perception check.
All right.
I'm better at those.
18.
3.
This dice is my new best friend today.
A great solid 3.
Ace,
I rolled a 6, so that's an 8, my dude.
you know you can roll for sepsis as well, Charles, right?
Sepsis would
Sepsis wouldn't.
This wouldn't, yeah.
All right, would.
You can roll for creature.
Yeah, you can roll for creature.
What do I add for creature?
It should be under extras for familiar.
Can I get into that? That's the question.
Yeah.
Probably. We believe
So
you.
what am I adding to it? Is in what am I at? Perception.
Wisdom modifier.
Wisdom. So it's plus. He got 13.
Yeah.
Okay. So dice then. After all that, dice. As you are looking around, not within maybe 30 feet of the door that you've just walked out of, onto the giant platform you seem to be on, which, you know, there are paths stretching down and across and up from. But after about 30 feet, what you see is some of these structures are broken. Some of these structures have fallen over, have been knocked over. And as you get used to what you're seeing and look further out, you can see that there is an incredible amount of destruction that looks quite recent.
Okay, as though something's passed through it that was large and caused damage to the surrounding area?
It is wanton, it is random. As you look around, you can see scorch marks, but no source of a fire.
Okay, and there's... Can I roll to look for tracks as well?
Yeah, roll for survival, please.
Okay. Oh no. 9.
Okay. As you're walking around then, and shuffling, you can't really see tracks, but you do kind of bump headfirst into something.
Yeah.
And you step back. And as you look at what you bumped into, it seems to be almost a statue of fungus. But as you're looking at it, you look at it from more than one angle, more than one side. It seems like someone's cultivated the fungus to look humanoid. It's got legs, arms.
Ooh.
And that's when Benkin comes up and places a hand on your shoulder and asks you to step back. Please, it is, do not get too close.
What are they?
What is it?
That's strangely beautiful.
Sure, it was in life.
Hey, that's enough people there.
In life?
Still is now. Oh boy.
Wait, did this used to be a person and now what? It's dead and fungusy?
No, they are denizens of this place. Well, this one was, at least.
I'll be back in 1 minute. He needs to go out.
Okay.
Okay.
They seem to have evolved from the fungus that grows down here. But I've never been to this place.
So then they just evolved from the fungi?
They are in fact fun guys.
I guess you could make that assumption.
Benkin, I can't work out which way to go from here, and something has scorched several of these things, and I point out the damage we saw, or I saw. I don't know where to go.
I believe we should rest here. There does not seem to be any movement hereabouts.
Next
we
to the
wait.
dead fungus person.
The things that you told us not to get near.
We're going to sleep next to it.
Yes, but if we wait until our fellows join us, we can discuss where to go next.
All right.
That makes sense.
I'm not too keen on staying around these spores too long.
Are they dangerous to breathe, do you know?
I
Not that
believe they would have used their whatever weapons were at their disposal to harm us. Had this one been alive, spores were one of their defense mechanisms, but I do not believe we have much to fear from it as long as you do not get too close.
But this one is dead. Are there others that may be less deceased?
Perhaps, but none I can see or sense in the immediate area.
Good enough.
Perhaps if I wait here for my apprentice and you scout the region.
I think we would be happier with that and would probably feel safer.
You can take Rex with you.
You're going to stay alone?
I survive quite well on my own. Do not worry. The only things in front of me are you. The only things behind me are my friends.
That is true. It's about as safe as you can be, I suppose. Would you like to keep my dog for company?
And he stares down at Cedric.
Do this.
Does head tilt.
Is it safe?
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
And you can see Sepsis standing behind you, Ogre.
Hell beast. Hell beast.
Fiend, it's foul.
Sepsis does not really like my dog.
Sepsis doesn't like dogs.
He's like Rex, but with his own soul.
And Cedric's never really done anything against Sepsis other than being larger than Sepsis.
Yeah.
Dog. Technically.
Then I will happily take care of your dog.
Okay.
Cedric.
I crouch
Cedric.
down. Cedric.
Yes,
I
that's
crouch
right.
down and I say to Cedric, you guard my friend here. If anything attacks him first, you attack as you normally would with me.
And Cedric just kind of nods, licks you with a cold metal tongue.
I give him scritches behind his ears. It feels really weird. I know.
Okay.
Okay, I regret my choices. Let's go.
Nails on a chalkboard.
Let's go scout.
There's a path up, quite steep. There's a path across to another platform that seems to surround one of these large supporting stone towers. And there is a path down to a lower level. Which
Who
would you
fancies
want?
it? Up,
Let's
down.
not go down. Let's not go down on our own.
But you like to go down.
I think
Yeah.
it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Hey, so you made a dirty joke. Well done. Proud of you.
It took a lot.
I'm very proud of you, though. It was good. Maybe we go and have a look from that platform up there, and we see if we can see anything if we go around it.
Yeah, the high
Yeah.
ground's always a good position to be in.
Yeah. Advantages of the high ground.
Penkin behind you. It's what I've heard. So you walk off or wander off?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to go, up or across?
We're going to go on the bridging
Up
bit.
to
is
the
it?
level. Yeah, up to where that level is.
Up a little. Okay.
Up the balcony type. What's it?
Yay, dirty jokes.
As you go up, then, you find yourself maybe about 50 feet above Benkin, or where you left Benkin before it levels off again. And you seem to be on a plateau that goes all the way around this huge cavern. It does drop off in certain parts. You can see other cave-like holes in the wall in the distance, but it seems to span the wall as far as your eyes can see, which now, in the light of these spores, is quite far. There is a lot of scorching up here, a lot of destruction. And laying on the floor in front of you, as you come out on a more level plane, is a few of these creatures.
I do not poke.
Okay.
Don't
They
touch.
all seem to be, instead of standing as the other one was, 3 of them are on the floor. One of them is stone. Fungus creature, entirely made of stone.
Can I do an Arcana check on it?
Did you want to do an Arcana check on the stone one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do any checks on the ones laying on the floor?
I would like to ask Sepsis to help me with a nature check to see if we can work out what creature would have done this. Is that okay?
I got an 18 on the Arcana check on the stone one.
Okay. Dice.
Yeah.
Just to confirm then, you can look at it, but if you want to determine what it is nature. If you want to determine what killed it, it's medicine.
What killed it? Medicine then. So, using the same dice, because I only rolled one because I wasn't sure what you were going to say. That would be a 19 on medicine because I have a +1. I missed medicine.
Okay. First of all, then I'll do Oriana. She goes first.
Yeah, okay. Phrasing.
As you approach the stone, or what looks like a statue, the detail on it is exquisite. It's perfect. You're walking past 3 corpses on the floor, and as you stand next to it now, you see how, if this was a carved statue, it was possibly shaped out of stone, with a very powerful spellcaster. Because you've heard of spells that can shape stone in this way, however, not with this much intricacy or detail. As you're looking at it, it's almost as if it's been turned to stone. And then it strikes you. There are many spells, many monsters, beasts that you've read about that can potentially do this. And this creature has been turned to stone. The detail on it is as perfect as another creature you've seen in the recent past, turned to stone, in a deep cave. And you get a horrible sense of deja vu.
Medusa?
Potentially. But you believe that this is one of the fungus people that has been turned to stone. Dice.
Hello.
As you look around these creatures, you see no harm to their limbs, to their body. But as then you get close to one and its head, or what could pass for its head, even though it is that kind of strange shape of fungal growth, you can see at the back that what passes for what would be its skull, the back of it has been removed. And it is hollow.
Something ate its brain. It doesn't have a brain. Also, they look like the image in my head, Rich, and it's not your fault, is again the clickers from, because you know the fungus zombies.
Almost more fungus. Think more fungus.
I don't want to.
Something turned this one to stone.
Something turned it to stone and ate its brains. What the hell does that?
I don't know, but we should probably keep an eye out for it, and I'm not sure we're that safe here anymore.
I don't want to meet it.
We should probably let Benkin know.
Let's get back to him and discuss.
Okay.
How recently does this look like it happened with my medicine check?
With your medicine check, with that one, roll me a nature check, and sepsis can help if you like.
All right, I don't mind. Sepsis' help is gratefully received because that was a bit crap. 16. Should have got Sepsis to roll the nature check. That would have been a better choice. Don't know why we didn't do that, really.
Oh, because it's me rolling, not Greg.
Looking around then, and kind of affecting some of the other fungal growths in the area, and just kind of knocking them, seeing the spores kick off, float down, seeing how the other parts of the environment react to recent contact. You look at these, and they seem to almost be growing back into the floor. Fungus has started to connect to the floor, so these have been like this for a while.
Okay.
But as you can see, because it's fungus, it doesn't necessarily decompose. So this living fungus would just become part of the environment upon death. But you can tell it's been at least a week since this happened.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go find Benkin.
Okay.
We head back down.
Your entire investigation took maybe 20 minutes, or half an hour, and as you walk back down the slope, then you do see that the platform in which you all entered into this area is now completely full of people. who seem to be breaking camp or breaking open their packs to start making camp where you are.
Campers in sleep camp or campers in short rest camp?
Campers in what would be afternoon meal.
Right, okay. I just want some sleep.
Tea.
Same.
Tea or dinner, whichever. Depending on where you're from. Depending on what part of Britain you're from. It's like a tea or
What
dinner.
region of Britain?
We're not getting into that debate. Move on.
Which also seems to change as you go up.
Yep. The more north you get, the more it changes.
Mm.
Come on, AD. Tea or dinner? No, I'm not going to wait for him to tell us. But
Tea. He just said
He says
tea.
tea. Yeah,
yes,
I'd agree on that. Yeah.
Tea time.
But as you then get back down, Benkin is in a heated discussion with Ankane, and you rejoin your fellows for the rest.
I head over to Benkin and Ankane. Oh, sorry to interrupt, fellas, but I have some concerns.
Please, what are your concerns? What have you found?
I point to the fungus person, but we found more of them deceased. It seems something has eaten its brain out, and another has been turned to stone.
Ankane kind of scoffs. I didn't think they had brains.
Yes, you racist cunt.
I actually look at Ori and go, "Whew."
Ankane kind of
Hey, this is like
he glares at you and kind of puts his hand or tries to take the hilt of his sword from his belt.
Oh, so you respond to everything with aggression.
But Benkin kind of like puts his hand over his. There is no need for name calling or anger here. So their brains have been removed and one has been turned to stone.
Correct, but it was about a week ago because they've started to grow into the floor, which means the thing realistically could come back if it was getting hungry, but perhaps it's not the end of the world. But I don't want to meet anything that eats brains and turns things to stone, particularly. The Aboleth was bad enough.
We've been resting for a while we've been walking for a while. We should at least need a small rest. Thank you for scouting. I will put others on watch. But
As long as we keep our eyes open, we should be okay.
Find somewhere comfortable. Make your short camp and we will move out of this place as soon as possible to find somewhere more secure.
Thank you, Benkin.
And he grabs Ankane's arm and just drags him off to a quieter spot.
he's in trouble.
That boy needs pegging.
We could just kill him.
No, too good. Honestly, I think he just needs someone to bend him over and put him in his place. He is like the brattiest brat.
You can do that without doing that. Just beat him in a fight. You know, a good,
Just keep it
good honourable fight.
Okay, but my one ends in orgasm. Your one ends up in a trip to the... Do you know what? Never mind.
I mean, either way, right? It could end up. Hey, friend, and I talk to the half elf and I give her small rations. Like, let's just pretend.
As you break out a short camp or a short rest camp.
Yes, pegging.
I think we'll leave it there for break as you go to a short rest. Yes, so we leave it there for break. Gone slightly over 9 o'clock, 5 past. We'll be back by 20 past. While you are here, please, hopefully he's going to check in the chat for us now, but if you get a chance and you can, we have a charity event coming up last weekend of this month, 28th to 30th, noon till noon, will be 48 hours of geekery and charity and gaming and dice, and it's going to be a really good laugh. We're involved, there's loads of other creators and players involved as well. If you can, please give it a look. And if you can, please donate to 3 wonderful causes that have been chosen for this event. But yes, 28th to 30th, noon till noon. But yeah, we'll see you in 15 minutes. Catch you in a bit. Thank you.
Bye.
Don't get up in the middle of the stream then. Hello! Welcome to part 2 of the Chronicles of Nidum, episode 35. Wondering how much of that you caught. Anyway, welcome back. So, you have made camp in the middle of this fungal forest, deep in the dark cave in the Underdark. Again, most of the groups are separate. You find that the orcs, though, now are slightly closer to you. The halflings further away. The 2 hooded elves as far away as they can be. And the 2 elf knights, surrounded by the automatons, off in the distance, talking animatedly. What would you like to do?
I gave some rations to the half-elf.
The half-elf gratefully accepted them, sat down next to you, started munching away.
Can we see Benkin and Anke?
You can.
I'm just going to sit watching them.
Okay.
See if I can work out how the argument's going.
Rich.
Roll me an insight check around. Yes.
I'm going to turn to Sepsis
Okay.
and say, I wonder what they're talking about. Is it worth sending Creature over to have a look?
I got a 19.
On insight.
Yeah.
Okay. It is an argument. It's quite heated. Ankin is angry. Looks very angry. He's gesturing.
Wonder why.
He's gesturing in the general direction of the group. Not necessarily pointing at you, but is gesturing towards the group. Benkin looks calm, if a little tired, but he is attempting, it looks like he's attempting to calm Ankin down.
Probably didn't help with that situation.
You reckon?
Yeah.
But eventually then as Sepsis responds to send word over, you see them split apart, and Benkin starts to wander back over while Ankin kind of, you see him petulantly kick a piece of fungus off into the distance.
Is he coming back towards us?
He looks to be striding straight towards you. He's bringing Rex with him as well.
Okay, all right. No, you probably didn't help, but
Should I go apologize? I'm on a roll with that today.
I would not, if that's okay.
He's the type that is better left to his own devices, yeah?
Yes, he will calm eventually.
I'll apologize to you then. I'm sorry for upsetting your apprentice. But he needs to learn to not be such an arrogant, horrible sod.
The Underdark stirs a great many emotions for Ankin. We both lost someone very dear to us down here last time. Apprentices are allowed to take a squire so that when they become full knights, that squire can then become their apprentice. And Ankin had one. She was from a place far, far away from here, below the waters of the Atlantic Sea, as far west as you can still go. And she was young, not as reckless as him, but seemed to be heading that way. And in our last foray down into the Underdark, she lost her life to the drow.
So he feels the need to take that out on anyone else?
He does not enjoy being down here and does not think much of the people who do.
He thinks we enjoy being down here?
Sorry. He does not think much of the people who live in the Underdark.
I can't.
Doesn't explain his attitude towards anyone else.
Oh, that's just the giant chip he's had on his shoulder since birth.
Does that not concern you?
He is calmer than he has been. There are moments where he worries me, but not now. He will learn to let go of his anger as he matures.
I'm not sure about that.
I will help.
If you think you can.
I've made it his life's work.
I hope that for your sake you can succeed.
We'll wish you the best of luck with that, but just a warning, some cases are lost cause.
Well,
Just don't blame yourself if it doesn't work.
I'll try. Ankane has been speaking to the halflings, some of which have made their way down here previously, and their elders knew much more of these people we find ourselves in. This seems to be a myconid forest. They are a fungal people. I did not know until this point what they were called. They are, if we were in any danger from them, they would have announced themselves by now. It would appear that they have either all been killed or have fled.
I would say by the look of it, they've been wiped out, but it depends how frequent, how many there are.
This does not appear to be the work of the Drow.
No.
Ankane has some theories, but prefers to keep them to himself for now.
Helpful.
When he thinks like this, it is just his process. He will come to me eventually.
I'm sorry we're being so down on your apprentice. He has not portrayed himself particularly.
You are not the first, and almost certainly will not be the last.
You're very patient.
That is something I have been called previously.
So, which way?
It might be.
Sorry.
I was going to say it might be worth telling him that keeping a grudge like that might be more harmful to him than anyone else.
Well, hopefully, I can broker a peace with the Drow, and we will, or others will not have to suffer the same loss that we did the last time we ventured down here.
Well, hopefully he can keep his mouth shut and to himself while you do that. I've got a bad feeling he's going to lose his temper.
Thanks.
If he's so quick to insult a race that looks like it's been wiped out down here as a backhanded comment.
I will talk to him before we approach them. I can assure you this will work.
Don't gag him.
Sorry. All
Have a
right.
spare.
Well, which way are we going?
Well, I believe we've come the wrong way. However, Ankane seems to think that if we make our way across to the opposite side of the cavern, we should be able to find more caves heading further down.
There was a path down within this cave, but we didn't go that way, just so you know.
No, we've already noticed that down there are some, well, various different species of fungus and mushrooms, some of which, even from here, I can tell you do not want to go anywhere near. I fear what would actually happen if we got onto the ground floor of this cavern.
Hey, we chose the right route, guys.
Yeah, let's avoid that area.
Oh,
Just watching Sepsis from the corner of my eye. Now, stay away from there.
Oh yeah, completely out of character? Yeah. You chose absolutely the right way to go.
You warned us not to go too deep.
No one's ever said that to Oriana before.
So,
You could still go too deep.
as you get to the end of the rest and everyone seems to start packing up again, Benkin comes back over to you. We will take 5s this time. Rex will stay with NK.
All right.
Lead on.
You kill any of these automatons, I'm going to come after you, by the way.
Lead on.
I begin with Ori to follow 5s across the cave.
Yeah. It is Dice and Ori behind 5s.
Hopefully Ace really close behind because I get scared when Ace isn't nearby.
Yeah. Ace is near, don't worry.
So as you advance then across the stone bridge, connecting the different platforms that seem to grow around these huge stone towers in the distance, you get further and further out across the top of the cavern, and even now you cannot see. You can see the opposite wall to where you are. It's maybe 400 feet away. You can just make it out. But this cavern seems to be part of a much larger, almost underground canyon, like a chasm that stretches off into the darkness, left and right. You cannot see where it ends. The ceiling above, in certain places, huge stalactites hang down. They do not connect to anything below. And you can see how these huge stone towers that you're walking towards and circumventing were created over many, many thousands of years. And eventually, after maybe another hour's walking around many of these different platforms, crossing, when you think you're heading in the right direction, you discover there's only a bridge that will take you at a complete right angle to where you want to go. It takes you about an hour, but eventually you cross the chasm and get to the opposite wall. Looking along the wall then, you can see that it appears as if this was a city. The long, flat platforms that jut out from the walls would be streets. The cavern wall to the side of them is filled with small kind of holes that, after a certain amount of searching, you do think would, in the event of it being a street of a city, be the front doors to houses. Because the caves inside are small, almost like very shallow burrows. And you'd expect that this is where you would find, in normal circumstances, the myconids to be living. But in all of your travels so far, in the last hour and a half of searching, all you've found are corpses and destruction, devastation. None living. Half, or less than half, with brains, or what passes for a fungal brain removed. Some more turned to stone, some that have exploded, all that's left are legs, connected to the fungus growing or the moss below. Many have been killed in a fashion that you cannot see, a burnt hole in their outer shell. Some that seem to have stiffened and then passed. They seem to have been killed explicitly by either a cracked skull, brains removed, or some form of magic. There's very little physical harm done to them.
And I can't
by
see.
A weapon or anything like that.
We can't see any alive, not even like a baby myconid in one of the burrows. If I listen out as I walk.
Roll a perception check.
7, no? 19.
19?
Yeah.
Apart from the movement of your own people, there's nothing. It is a graveyard. It's a huge, cavernous graveyard.
This was a massacre.
Mm-hmm. Almost feels like it was done on purpose.
It was, I think.
With that perception check, though, I will tell you one more thing.
Okay.
On the site you first entered, 90% of the bodies you found had their brains removed. On the side you now find yourself on, the majority of them have either been turned to stone or killed by some other kind of magic.
Mm.
There was a literal halfway point, you noticed, where the method of death or the cause of death changed dramatically.
So what's more than one attacker? A systematic killing. One entered from the one side and killed them from that way, and then the other side perhaps.
Some sort of ambush.
Are you saying this out loud, discussing it?
Yeah.
Ambush.
Seems possible.
Cruel.
Perhaps two sides of a war.
Met in the middle, and then my
People here caught in the middle.
Caught in the crossfire.
That's crappy.
If this is a battleground, perhaps we should carry on as quickly as possible.
Oh, I agree.
Roll me an investigation check. No, survival, sorry.
Okay. I rolled a 10, so 17. My survival is real good.
Okay. As you see off in the distance with your perception check and your survival, following different tracks, there seems to be a heavy amount of foot traffic all heading in one direction. Foot traffic is a relative term, as it seems to be strange kind of fungal patterns as they grow back, having been destroyed by being stepped on. And it leads you towards a larger portal, one that you would not expect to be a burrow or an abode of the Myconids. And you do see then that there seems to be a main throughway, like a thoroughfare, that leads to a large 30-foot by 30-foot tunnel that exits straight through as far as you can see into the darkness.
This way then.
Benkin nods in the affirmative. Fives stalks off ahead, and you continue on into the darkness. You pop your goggles of night back on, because you need them in that room, in that cabin. Yeah.
I just pull them down off my head.
Okay. As you continue, then the light does dim quickly. The spores in the air that are glowing disappear or filter into nothing. And eventually then, the only way you can see is with the goggles. Again, it is just wet and damp. The fungal smell, the sweetness of the different spores just disappears from the air. Everyone roll another perception check.
Oh no.
Not as good, 16.
20.
Was 15.
20.
It'll be 17.
Okay. What was yours, Dice?
16.
16. Okay. Oriana.
Yes.
Dice. What was yours, Ace?
Hmm?
What was yours?
It was 17, sorry, I had a
17,
mouthful of tea then.
The three of you hear drumming. It's fast.
Oh.
Another drum is taken up, whereas a single drum before, now there are two, maybe 3, 4. It's fast. The same speed as a run.
Is my sword vibrating?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Does it sound like it's coming towards us or away?
The sound is coming from behind you.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Someone drumming behind us?
You can hear the heavy footfalls of your orc compatriots running up the tunnel towards you as well. Benkin kind of turns around. And as you turn around a corner that you've all turned, comes Anke followed by the automatons and the orcs.
What's wrong?
There's too many of them. We need to go now. Dark elves, it's an ambush. There are hundreds of them. Go now.
Okay, we set off on foot then, I guess.
But you're kind of in the way at the moment. So.
Yeah.
You're holding everyone up.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're running.
Did you run?
I guess, yeah.
Benkin takes off after 5s as well, and you continue with him.
Then, yeah.
Turns to you guys. We cannot be killed before we get to the Drow, and before I can deliver my message and grant us safe passage into their kingdom. We have to keep running for now. We cannot let it end like this.
All right.
Foot soldiers like this will not listen to reason. Possibly. But I can't see. And he looks back at Ankane. Certain members of the group are going to be giving them time to. I'd rather not let this be a confrontation.
Okay.
Let's go. We keep going. Go, 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 go.
Okay, so, Dice, what's your movement speed?
Normal. 30.
Ariana?
30.
Ace?
30.
Sepsis is 35.
Of course it is. What about Cedric?
40, I think. No, like he's faster than I am. Sorry, extras is so far down the stupid list.
My flying speed is still 30 as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. 40 foot.
40 foot.
Yeah.
Okay. So very quickly, in fact, completely in keeping with their character, Sepsis peels off ahead, away from the danger.
Legs it.
Yeah.
Cedric, actually 5 feet ahead or 10 feet ahead of him, if you're using your action to dash as well. Then, if you're using your action to dash as well, yeah. Okay. You get to a small cavern. There are 3 exits.
Very quick survival check.
Okay. Roll with disadvantage.
Well, that's crap. 10 as
Okay,
opposed to 27.
Okay.
Oh, God.
The one in the middle.
The one in the middle. Middle.
Okay.
Go. Just go.
So you make your way down the one in the middle. Benkin and 5s follow you. The sound of your pursuit, or your fellas pursuing you, gets a little bit quieter. And then almost completely disappears as to be non-existent. The rest of the party took a different route. You can still hear the drumming. It hasn't gone away. If anything, it's got louder. What do you want to do? Do you want to go back or keep going?
Ben, what do you want to do?
If we go back, we'll be in for a fight with numbers that I do not believe we can survive.
We can only hope that we meet up with them again at another point. We just need to keep going.
Very well, let's go. And turns and starts running again.
I run too.
Okay.
Yep.
So you keep running? Keep running?
Yeah.
Okay. The drums do not let up. They are constant. As your breath starts catching in your chest, you feel so warm as to make it almost impossible to breathe. And your heart beats faster than the drum. And the drum just keeps getting louder and louder to the point where you've been running for so long, for maybe an hour, maybe 2, but you've been running for so long that you're not sure whether it's the drumming anymore or your heart beating in your ears. I need everyone to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, mine's rubbish, and then I'm going to try something.
Oh, God.
Okay, Rach? Because I didn't realise we'd have been running for that long. I would have stopped it sooner. Because I've got rope trek, so I would have done rope trek before it reached this point. If we'd been running for an hour,
Okay.
and it wasn't getting any quieter, I would have done rope trek.
Okay. How long does rope trek take to cast?
It's an action, I think. Hang on. I have lost where my spells are. This is concerning because I've been playing this for a very long time. Rope trick, one action.
Okay.
Literally grab the rope off my pack and cast rope trick and toss it up.
So you cast rope trick?
Yeah.
After the con saving throw, then. So con saving throw.
Okay, con saving throw is terrible.
Oriana?
25 and sepsis is 13.
Ace?
8.
8. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dice?
6.
You have a level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Ace?
Both of us. Yeah.
Ace, you have a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
I will add a level to sepsis, because I can do that. Cedric doesn't get exhausted, so he's fine.
Easy dog.
Did I save?
Oriana, you saved, sorry.
Woo!
So you're tired, but you do not get a level of exhaustion. Benkin saves. And 5 doesn't need to, just fine. Okay. So you're going to throw up rope trick.
I am. I'm
For the
gonna
benefit. Okay. For the benefits of the people in chat, can you please describe the spell?
Yeah, so I'm going to grab a length of rope from my pack and I am going to touch it. Touch it. One end of the rope is going to rise into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance will open to an extra-dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends. The extra-dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view from the outside the space. Attacks and spells can't cross the entrance into or out of it, but those inside can see out as if by a 3-foot by 5-foot window centered on the rope. Anything inside the extra-dimensional space drops out when the spell ends, and it lasts for an hour.
Okay.
And there's 8 of us.
Yeah. And I think I've actually got 30 foot of rope, which is...
9 if you count creature.
And a creature can be bamped out, can't he? Or
Yeah.
outside invisible. Creature will be all right. And we can pull Cedric in by the rope, so it'll be okay.
Cool. Okay. So it's a rope hanging in the air. I want everyone to make me a athletics check, please.
And that's a disadvantage because of exhaustion, yeah?
Can I just fly up?
You can.
Okay, can I take sepsis with me?
Yeah.
Nice.
You can carry sepsis. He's quite small.
Yeah.
In fact, no. What's your strength score?
I mean, I've carried sepsis before. My strength score is 11.
11.
Yeah.
What's your carrying capacity? 120.
Easy.
Push, drag, lift. Yeah, got it.
13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you climb up the rope. Ace.
Even with disadvantage, 20.
Nice. Okay. So Ace climbing up the rope behind you, as you falter slightly, Dice does push you the rest of the way quite happily.
When I get to the top, I turn around, I look down at Benkin and go, climb the rope.
Benkin concentrates for a moment, and as he sees your head disappear, leaps straight up.
Nice.
And then appears
Of course he fucking did.
in the small area.
Cedric is going to grab the rope, and I'm just going to pull Cedric in with Ace's help, hopefully.
Ives at this point climbs the rope as well.
Good.
And then comes in, as well as Cedric, then tied to the other end of the rope, gets pulled in as well.
Yeah, he just holds onto it with his teeth. He's got a force-empowered end. He can hold a rope.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm going to eat on stream because I haven't eaten anything since midday and my food just arrived.
Okay, as then you're aware
Lost the dog.
of Cedric disappearing. As soon as Cedric disappears into the hole, you start to see light coming down the tunnel behind you. You start to see shadows start to dance in that light as well. And a few moments later, a horde of incredibly fast-moving, hooded figures runs down the tunnel, crawls down the tunnel. Some of them seem to be running or crawling or clawing their way along the ceiling. And these hooded creatures are small. They're about the same height as Sepsis. Can't tell race unless you really want to try, but they run. And maybe about 20, 30 of them. You can't really tell in the darkness because of the speed at which they're moving, but they very quickly shift past you. And the ones at the rear, who are drumming on small drums that you can see hanging at their sides, which is not encumbering them in any way, run past. And the drums that were now behind you disappear off into the distance.
Okay. I'm going to, once they've properly gone, I'm going to turn to Benkin and go, this lasts for an hour. Your call what we do with that. It's a useful trick.
I do not know. I was going by instinct. It was a brilliant plan, but I suppose it is now up to you all what we do next.
Do we try and rejoin the group, or do we follow the slathering hordes? Were they drow, Rich? Were there drow in the mix?
Roll me a perception check.
Post-perception. Oh, well, that my dice have now betrayed me. 7.
Yeah, we'll make you roll with disadvantage, it's fine. You literally couldn't tell. The hoods were pulled over, they were masked. It was very hard to tell what race they were, or what kind of creature they were. They were clothed, dark leathers, but apart from that, you know that drow tend to be taller, these creatures. I do not believe they were drow. They seemed quite small from the drow I've seen. But they were dressed in the drow fashion, so your guess is as good as mine.
Perhaps?
No, the armor's too well made for it to be a disguise. I believe they are at least allied with the drow, if not actually drow themselves.
Would it perhaps be best to walk back up this path and try and reconvene? Hopefully they didn't go too far when they realized perhaps they weren't being followed.
Well, there are none among the others that could have pulled off this trick as you have. So they will have kept running. That means if we go and try and rejoin them, at best, we will find them in a fight. At worst, we will come up behind an army or a horde of creatures trying to kill them. But still too many of them to take on all at once, at least in the tight confines of these tunnels. If we continue onwards, we have, and he points down through the kind of space where you can see the tunnel around you. We have now some relatively fresh tracks to follow. For what I'm assuming will be a much easier route to the Drow City.
We can certainly do that.
We don't have your hot-headed apprentice with you to possibly mess something up.
That is also true.
He's ahead.
So, silver linings.
I would like it noted as well, I myself am not built for running long distances like that. I'm not really fit enough, and I'm very tired now.
I do not believe that we will have to run after them this time. And as it sounds like there are none chasing us, we could probably just walk.
I meant
I check the time on my watch.
The time on your watch? It's coming up at about 8 o'clock at night.
somewhere to sleep at some point will be necessary.
Perhaps we can find something further in.
Okay.
As you said, we don't want to be up here for the full hour, otherwise we may have not such a happy landing.
Yeah, we'll just fall out the bottom after the hour is finished. I can't do this again, just so you know. I am sent on that level of casting ability.
And it is perhaps a good idea that we find somewhere much safer.
That was my thinking. Okay, and I kick the rope down to the... No, actually, I get Cedric to take the rope in his little mouth, and then I get Ace to lower him down.
Yeah.
I just jump out and fly down.
Okay.
Do you need me to do any athletics on that?
No.
Okay.
You're lowering Cedric, it's fine, don't worry about it. And you all make your way out of the little pocket created by Rope Trick and find yourselves back on the ground, moving ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Quietly.
Yeah, I think...
As
Probably not in full
quietly.
stealth, but carefully.
Yeah.
Well, everyone roll a stealth check anyway.
But that never goes well. We're very bad at them. Alright. I'm rolling with disadvantage for myself, aren't I?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
16 for me.
Okay. Sepsis?
9.
Mine is 14 with disadvantage.
Okay. Dice?
Mine is 13.
Cedric?
Cedric's is 15.
Okay. You all feel relatively stealthy, quite quiet. Ace and Dice laughing quite loudly. You feel your breathing may give you away as you walk up the tunnel. However, nothing is going to give away your position as much as Fives and Benkin, who trip over each other and crash loudly into the floor in front of you with a natural 1 and a 2.
Now watch this happen and go. Subtle.
Why are they like this?
Just turn around and look at them like, what?
Perhaps we should just move on quicker. And you start walking down the tunnel as quickly as possible.
It's been a long day.
You do eventually see up in the distance. You can hear the drumming. It's very far off now, very faint. But up in the distance, maybe 30 feet away, is a hole in the wall, a dark hole.
Glory hole.
It's
It
just
wasn't me who said it this time.
It's a hole in the wall of the tunnel.
Glory
and
hole.
as you come closer to it, you do just peek inside and see that it is just what appears to be a small cavern, maybe 20 feet across. The hole itself is only 5 feet across.
What's up?
What's up? The ceiling, 15 feet above.
There's no stalactites that look shady or suspicious stalactites.
No, looks relatively smooth inside, in fact.
This looks pretty good for a sleep. I could really use some sleep.
It does seem like a good camping spot.
Let's do it. We're not going to be functional properly until we've gotten some sleep, me and Ace.
I'd be no good in a fight right now.
I'd be okay, but not my best.
I'd be rubbish. I'm pretty much out of anything fancy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wander into the hole and start setting up a camp.
I'll start unpacking things for us.
Cool, okay.
Turn
So
to Benkin. Sorry, as I said, turn to Benkin and go, I think we could all benefit from a rest.
Yeah. Benkin steps in, so does Fives.
Mana.
As you all step in, there is a loud, metallic click and a crunch of stone. And the floor drops out from under you.
Traps. Fuck.
Nobody check for traps.
No, nobody checked for traps. The floor drops out from under you, and the ceiling above collapses and starts to rain down on you in large chunks.
Right.
And you fall into a hole. I would like everyone without wings to roll a Constitution saving throw as you hit the side on the way down. Ori, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Cool.
Ace.
Okay, let's do sepsises.
Ace, I can't remember. Does your aura give protection to saving throws, or is it something else? I can't remember.
I
What your
don't think it's saving throws. I will check.
So it's 15 for sepsises, Constitution save.
Okay.
my con save sucks. Can we just assume I failed?
Yeah, it just says.
I got 15 on my dexterity save.
Yeah, they things that attack us get disadvantage, but we don't get advantage on anything.
And
That's
there's
15 on my dex then.
So you flare your wings, Oriana, and immediately start. You have to move down. It's the only way you can get out of the way of these stones and follow your friends as they fall into what appears to be a bottomless pit. Jagged rocks jutting from each side of this long vertical tunnel. But you do just manage to dodge out of the way of the first round of rocks. What was your saving throw dice? 4. Okay. Dice. You take, there we go, 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you bounce off one of the jagged rocks.
Ow.
You are stunned.
Aww. I didn't roll a saving throw for Cedric.
My saving throw, if you'd like to know, 9.
9. You also take 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are stunned.
Cedric,
Add that to my condition.
15.
Cedric manages to catch his feet on the part, on the jagged rock that he's going to hit, and just manages to
It's
kick
gravy
off.
time.
He only takes 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
What did Obikin do?
Benkin.
Benkin even. Obikin. That is the shit name for Obi-Wan and Anakin. Is he not very Jedi at the moment?
Completely caught unawares. Benkin, roll the natural 1.
Okay.
Take 8 points of bludgeoning damage, as does 5s. They're both stunned. Sepsis takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage and is stunned.
You'll have to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, you're still falling. Oriana, roll another dexterity saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
20.
20, excellent. Okay, with that roll, is there anything you would like to try and do on your turn?
Can I catch Benkin?
Okay.
I nearly called Obikin again.
Okay.
Benkin. I don't even ship it.
You want to try and catch him?
Yeah.
Roll me because he's stunned and can't act to help you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm grabbing a
he's fallen away
sack.
from you. Okay. I would like you to roll me a athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer.
No, they're both the same, so. It's a nat 20, so 21.
Nat 20. Okay, you grab Benkin and arrest their fall slightly. You still need to travel down to avoid these rocks. Because he is dead weight, completely dead weight at the moment because he's stunned, you are going to have disadvantage on your dexterity check for your next avoidance of the falling rocks. Dice, Ace, I need to roll for sepsis as well. Can I please have a Constitution saving throw?
I'm stunned. Do I still get to save?
Yeah.
Cool.
This is how hard
oh,
you
that
are.
one's a bit better. That one is a 19.
17. 17.
Okay.
I know, more than a 19. So
Hang on,
yeah,
I got
adding 5 to 6 is it's 21.
I got 15, and Cedric got 15.
Okay. So, Sepsis, Ace, Dice, and Cedric, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Wait, even on a 21?
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's like half damage.
You could take 11 if you want.
No, I'm okay.
So you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
And you are no longer stunned.
Okay, cool.
You can see that there appears to be water at the bottom of this hole. It's about 30 feet away. You're going to have another turn to act before you get there. Is there anything you'd like to do on this turn?
Am I still stunned?
No, you're no longer stunned.
I don't think there's anything I can do.
Can I try and grab anything on the wall? Like to try and not fall?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
I'm going to need an athletics check with disadvantage.
Cool. A disadvantage.
The speed you're traveling and the type of wall.
That is 16.
16.
Yeah.
Okay. So you managed to grab on. It is incredibly painful, the speed you were traveling, but you managed to grab onto the wall maybe about 10 feet before the tunnel ends and drops you into space and then water. Dice?
Yeah, I really don't have anything I can do, and my ability to grab and hold on to things is not good.
Okay.
Because I'd have to.
Wait. Can I cast Featherfall?
Is Featherfall an action?
It's a reaction.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I can cast it on up to 5 falling creatures within range.
Okay.
And it's a 60-foot range.
So, pick the creatures.
I think it covers everyone, doesn't it?
5.
So it would be Dice, Ace, 5s, Sepsis. 5s before Sepsis. I'm already holding Obikin, so Cedric.
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah, because you wouldn't need it on yourself or Obi.
Yeah.
Then Kim, damn it.
I know, I keep doing it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's on everyone.
So, you cast Featherfall. Can you please describe for the benefit of anyone watching what
So you
Featherfall
choose up
is?
to 5 falling creatures within range, a 60-foot range. A falling creature's rate, which of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. If the creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no falling damage and can land on its feet. The spell ends for that. Oh, the spell ends for the creature then when it lands.
Cool. So you all immediately start to feel your downwards momentum slowed, apart from obviously Ace, who is
Already stationary.
Stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, so next round, last round before anyone hits bottom, I would like Ori. In fact, there's no more Constitution saving throws. I need everyone to roll a Dexterity saving throw because there are still falling rocks.
Yeah. It's just you're falling slow enough that you can do something about it, hopefully.
Save is better than my con save.
Yeah, that's 21.
21. Okay.
Yeah.
18 on deck save for me. I need to check Cedric as soon as I find him.
I rolled 3.
3 for Oriana.
Yeah.
5 for Cedric.
What about Sepsis?
13. Just because I'm nice as well, that was a first level spell.
Okay. Right. As your reaction, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you all begin to fall, I'll do Oriana's circumstances, consequences first. Ori,
Mm-hmm.
as you see all of your friends below, slow in their fall. Benkin kind of shakes his head and looks at you, and his eyes are no longer dilated as he stares at you. And he's about to open his mouth in thanks, but you feel a surge of wild magic spew out from you.
Ew.
So, can you roll a wild magic search for me?
16.
16.
Go to sneeze, but I hold it in.
You hold yourself. You hold the spell, but in doing so, you almost stop in the air. And unfortunately, that means that one of your wings is taken out by
Oh.
a rock as it shoots straight into you, collapsing one of your wings into
No, I
your
didn't
body,
call you.
sending you into free fall, into the water below. Ace, you manage, with the rock jutting above you, to kind of hug under the lip of rock. And you just move and shift your hands to one side as a huge rock, which would have smashed your fingers to smithereens, crunches into the lip above you, just missing your fingertips by inches.
Oh no.
What was your dexterity saving throw?
Mine.
No, dice.
Okay.
Dice's was 17.
And sepsis
No,
was...
Shit, I can't remember. I think
feel
it was
like it was
17.
Was it?
Okay.
Oh, 13.
13,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
Cedric failed.
Cedric.
Did I take damage when I got hit?
Yes, I'm getting to that now because...
Okay, sorry.
It's alright. Because the same rock that went almost straight through your wing also hit sepsis.
No way of seeing it coming because it my wing was in the way.
And, okay, so... Ori, you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage, as does sepsis. I'll put that on sepsis now. Okay. For this next round then, all the stones, all the rocks of Cedric,
How much damage did he take?
9 points.
Thank you.
As then you hurtle past fives and dice and ace and sepsis, I need you to make a acrobatics check, please. Oriana.
I can just hear waffle going in the background.
Yeah. He did go downstairs, but Greg has sent him back upstairs.
Oh.
Acrobatics. 9.
Okay.
Am I even still holding Benkin?
I'm assuming that you push him away from you as you both hit the surface of the water.
Well, yeah, because I know he's conscious now.
Yeah.
If he was unconscious, I'd have held on to him, but now that I know he's conscious.
So you both hit the surface of the water hard. Ori, you take 18 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the water so hard that it feels like you're hitting the floor before you go under the surface.
Ow.
Benkin is the same.
That's how I
Ace,
feel, Waffle. That's how I feel.
your friends are falling down below you. You are about 50 feet up in the air from the surface of the water, but you know you are under the effects of a spell because you feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Ori,
So,
do me a favor and check for me because my D&D Beyond is... Oh, no, it's working now. There we go. There we go. Featherfall. Hey, it's not concentration. Cool, you're all okay.
cool. So I can still feel the effects on it. Feel the effects of it on me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I will.
Actually, no.
No.
If the creature lands before the spell ends.
Ace didn't land. Ace is suspended.
Ace has
Stopped falling.
stopped.
Yeah, he stopped falling.
They've
They-
stopped
Yeah.
falling.
I
So
wouldn't-
I'd rule that as landed.
I would.
Yeah.
You're no longer falling.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you're 50 feet up in the air.
In that case, I will.
You can cast it again. If you need me to.
Can you hear me from down there?
Hold that thought, Ariana. You're under the water right now. Hold that thought.
So yeah, Ace is going to try their best to like sort of worm their way down on the wall.
Okay.
Because
Roll me
53.
Roll me an athletics check.
Yeah.
With disadvantage.
Is it disadvantage?
Yeah, you're exhausted.
Got a point of exhaustion.
I don't have a disadvantage thing coming up on it though.
You wouldn't. It's
It doesn't auto.
all ability checks because you're exhausted.
Oh, okay. Well, that was 11, so that would be 20.
Okay. So you manage then. It's only half your speed to climb down.
Mm-hmm.
So you climb down about 15 feet. Use your action, I suppose, to move again.
Yeah.
So you climb down about 30 feet. You are now hanging about 20 feet from the lip of this tunnel, and you can see just like an underground lake below you.
Mm-hmm.
That 20 feet below. If you just want to drop,
I'm still in armor though. Is my
you
issue with
absolutely
that?
are. Do you want to hang there? Stay there for a minute?
If I can sort of perch myself for a minute, yeah.
Okay.
Just
You can hold
get
yourself
on my
there.
friends.
You're strong enough to hold yourself there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Dice. You and Cedric and Sepsis hit the surface of the water gently, but as the water takes your weight, you feel the effects of the spell wear off, and you are now attempting to swim. The side is about, or the nearest side you can see is about 30 feet away.
Okay. I am going to react to hitting the water. How close is Cedric to me?
Cedric is about 10 feet away.
Right. I'm immediately going to take the rope that I have on my back, that I have coiled on my back anyway,
Gravy time.
and I'm going to throw the end towards my dog
Okay.
so that they can grab the end.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to attempt to swim, pulling my rope that I've tied to my bag, or I'm holding, whatever.
Okay.
Holding makes more sense, and I'm going to attempt to doggy paddle.
Roll me an athletics check
Yeah, I'm really good at those.
with disadvantage.
Yeah, that makes it even better. I mean, athletics as an artificer are one of my skills, you know? Oh, I only
It's
rolled one. I
gravy
don't know why I did
time.
that. Okay. Athletics. It's not atrocious. It's 14.
14.
14.
Okay.
Which means I rolled a 14 and an 18 because I have +0.
Cool. Okay. So you manage to make good progress if you use your full action as well to move.
Yeah.
And you just make it to the lip, both you and Cedric make it to the lip of the land next to the water. Charlie, if you can roll for sepsis for me.
What am I rolling again? Sorry.
Athletics for swimming.
Athletics for swimming.
I have to get the dog in. He's barking.
Okay.
How well does a bunch of fabric do in water?
It's with disadvantage because they're exhausted.
God. That is. Greg's gonna kill me. That's a 5.
Fine.
They have a -1 to athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Sepsis, in a panic, attempts to swim, but caught up in the voluminous folds, they begin to sink quite quickly into the water below. Next round, Oriana, you feel yourself grabbed,
Hello.
not by Mencken, you can see in the murky water below, but by other arms. And as you look around, expecting to see some kind of monstrous fish creature, you see dark blue skin with a shine to it, like a dolphin, but with limbs humanoid, strong, muscled torso, incredibly strong, powerful legs and arms, the feet and hands webbed, with fins protruding from the calves, the thighs, the forearm. And you can just see some on the back. There is a humanoid, but also at the same time alien face staring at you. Inky black eyes, larger than yours, almond-shaped. No pupils, no whites, just pits of darkness stare at you. And as the form opens their mouth, there are rows and rows of, not razor sharp, but pointed teeth. And they grab you and attempt to grapple you. I'm going to need a athletics check, please.
18.
18. They rolled a 20.
Ah!
So you are grappled. Are you holding your breath?
It better be.
Okay.
I'm underwater.
So I can. If anyone in chat can help me remember how holding the breath works, because it just disappeared.
I'm sure it's your strength modifier plus
Do
one
I-
number of minutes you can hold the breath for.
Do I get to cast a spell?
Well,
I was
being
going to
grappled.
say
Well, that was an
when it
attack.
reached
That was an attack on
calm.
you.
Okay.
So. Yeah, it's your Constitution bonus. So you can hold your breath for 2 minutes.
Plus one.
My Constitution bonus is +2.
So she'd have 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Okay. You are grappled.
Yep.
Do you want to react?
Doesn't classify as a melee attack, does it?
Not being grappled.
Mm,
You've taken no damage.
yeah.
It's technically a melee attack to grapple someone.
Yeah, I don't have to take damage for
No.
Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
Not sure how that works underwater, but it is magical fire, so...
Have a look.
Yeah.
By which I mean, sorry, roll the spell.
Yeah, I've got to go looking for it, because it's hidden somewhere.
Features and traits.
No, it's hidden spells. It's just that it's right the way down. Well, it's a dexterity save.
Dexterity save. Fails.
Oh. It is 3d10s.
Okay.
$17 points of damage.
Okay.
Hopefully they let go.
They take 17 points of damage and do reel away from you and let go. so you're no longer grappled. And as you turn in the water, you can see Benkin is being dragged to the surface by two of these creatures. They seem similar, but definitely the same race, but also diverse in their markings. The darkness gives way to a light stomach and chest. One is obviously female, human form very similar to yours.
I can't do Hellish Rebuke.
Why?
I've already done it once this long, but without a long rest.
Oh no.
Okay, you're still grappled then. We'll wreck on that one.
Never
Cool,
mind. Sorry.
You're still
At least I
grappled.
was being honest.
No, that's cool. You're still grappled. But you still turn and see Benkin is just being dragged by one male and one smaller, more svelte female back to the surface. You also start to see off in the corner of your eye Sepsis sinking, but there is another two of these creatures swimming towards Sepsis. Ace.
I mean, I can't react at that point. I've got no other reaction, so...
Ace, you're hanging above the water.
Yeah.
The surface is currently frothing. You can't really see anything going on below it, but you have seen Sepsis's face disappear under the surface.
Yeah. I am going to drop into the water at this point.
Oh, you might. Okay. Roll me a acrobatics check, please.
Yeah, do you want that disadvantage or is it okay?
They're all at disadvantage because you are exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, I rolled the same thing on both die. That's unusual. Right, so that is 15.
15. Okay. You turn in the air and quite handily manage to completely upright yourself and enter the water gracefully, like a swan diving straight below, cutting the water like a knife.
Hot knife through butter.
Fortunately, with your goggles of night,
Mm-hmm.
your eyesight is still as good below the water, the magical effect, as it was above.
Okay.
You immediately see Sepsis, just a few feet below.
Yep.
But you also see these creatures. Unseen by Oriana earlier, you now look down and you can see at least 5 of these creatures swimming up from the depths.
Okay.
Do you want to attempt to grab Sepsis?
Yes.
Okay. You can attempt to grab Sepsis.
Mm-hmm.
Make me a athletics check, please.
That is, it's going to be the same as last time. It's going to be a 15.
Cool.
And I got a nat 20 on the other one. I'm so sad about it.
You grab Sepsis then,
Yeah.
by reaching out, grabbing just a lot of their folds, and your last 10 feet of movement you can use to kick your way back to the surface, dragging Sepsis with you.
Yeah.
So at least you're breathing. That's fine. Yeah. Ace, as you and Cedric get to the edge.
I mean dice.
Oh, sorry, Dice. As you and Cedric get to the edge, I apologize. You kind of pull yourself so your head is above the water and you can see out into the room. And it seems to be a series of underground pools. It's a large cavern. Ceiling is about 20, in some places 30 feet above. But these are large, maybe 50 feet across, circular pools set out with small walkways of stone between them. You can see a tunnel off in the distance. However, you can also see, with their heads cresting above some of the other pools in front of you now, about 5 more of these strange aquatic humanoids. And they're staring at you with their dark, inky black eyes. Some of them have finned crests, like mohawks on their head. Some of them have fins that kind of hang down, that look like hair. And it's on the ones that hang down and look like hair, they look very, to your eye, even though you've never seen this race before, it does give them a more feminine aspect. The ones with the mohawk are more angular, more masculine. But as you begin to pull yourself out of the water, they begin to pull themselves out of the water as well. And you can see they are armed.
Can I see my friends in the pool? I've got 6 seconds, presumably.
Next to you, having landed on the rock lip, you can see Fives. Unmoving.
Oh.
His chest is broken, and there is a spark of magical energy going off and pulsing like a heartbeat.
That
Okay.
was so well timed from Waffle. I was
Well-
like
He's voicing my opinions on this.
yeah.
Okay. So I need to deal with that. In the hope that it doesn't explode. The fish people, are they dragging my friends up or down? Out of the
You cannot see under the water. Your head is above the water. You cannot see what is going on below you.
Fine, priorities then. I have no idea what's happening, so can I have a very quick look at Fives and see if there's any way to get him back up on his feet as a defense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'll spend my turn doing.
Okay. So you hoist yourself out of the water.
I say turn, it's not like we're an initiative, so yeah.
Okay. Make me a Arcana or Investigation, whichever you prefer.
With disadvantage.
In fact, make me a tinkering check. So your intelligence plus your proficiency doubled, because obviously,
Yeah, but as a check, it's still with disadvantage, yeah?
if you want.
What do you mean if I want? No, I don't want.
Oh no, no ability. Yeah, disadvantage. Sorry. Because of
Okay.
exhaustion, I apologize. I forgot. There's a lot going on in my head right now.
What do I add to it, sorry?
Your intelligence bonus plus your proficiency modifier twice, because it's your artificer skill.
Fine, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm going to use Flash of Genius, and I'm going to make it up to 16, because I rolled a 2. But I can still get it up to 16, so I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
The chest is damaged. Almost beyond what you would think your ability right now in this few seconds to repair would be. The crystal that was glowing and housing on the chest has broken. It is shards of almost dust in front of on its chest in front of you. However, the energy's still there. Crystal is broken, but the energy still infuses the automaton.
Would I know why that would be? Whether it's a choice to stay there, or whether...
It is not a magic you have much dealings with, unfortunately.
So there's nothing I can do, really, for him?
No.
Not until after whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Fine. I'm going to take my rope and throw it in the water in the hope that I might fish a friend.
Okay. So take your rope. I'll let you do that as a free action. You just throw the other end of the water and see what you're going to
Go friend fishing.
I attach it to Cedric.
Okay.
He butchered me.
Okay. Oriana,
Yeah.
the one grappling you starts to kick towards the surface, takes one of his arms from around you, and starts to drag you towards the surface without looking at you.
I help. Like I start kicking to get up as well.
Okay. You easily, with their help then, swimming together, break the surface. You can see everything that Dice can, and the other water creatures getting out of their respective pools. You can see then that Ace has broken the surface with sepsis as well. And as you breach the surface and start to breathe again, you can also see that Benkin, being helped by the other two, has been dragged above the surface and takes a long, deep breath. Very shortly after this, 5 or 6 more of them appear in the pool behind you, surrounding you completely. There are now maybe 15 in total in the room. The one holding you checks on you for a moment that you can tread water yourself, and then kind of moves off slowly, takes a trident from his back and points it towards you. And you see all the others unclasping kind of weapons, daggers, tridents, spears. One has a net, a couple of nets.
I go, we come in peace?
They seem to be wearing some sort of leather you've never seen, in a rough approximation of clothing. It seems to be made of hide, but not of a creature you're familiar with. It seems incredibly waterproof. Similar to their own skin, but dissimilar enough that you don't think they're wearing their own race. Apart from one of them, who takes themselves out of the water and, dripping wet, starts to stalk towards you across the room. She's female, much like the skin, a very light blue. Again though, jet black, deep pits, eyes, as she stares towards you. And she's wearing leather armor. No trident, no dagger to speak of, but at her side, on either hip, she holds familiar hilts. The same ones that Benkin has, the same ones that Ankane has. And as the fins kind of flop down and she kicks them out of the way, she stares angrily at Benkin, who is unconscious, by the way.
Yeah.
Breathing, but unconscious. And then she casts her glance along the rest of you.
So you're the one they lost down here?
Was that what they told you?
Yeah.
Actually, we haven't known them that long, but also, sorry, we fell through the ceiling.
I point at the ledge going, can I get out of the water, please?
Slowly, but yes.
I swim over and pull myself out.
Bring the humans. Chain the others. Bring the humans, we will take those clasps off their wrists as soon as possible.
Their clasps are fake. They are my friends.
Wait. And I grab
swim and like take off there.
I grab the rocks from my bag and I swipe my wrist and I take my own bracelet off.
Every single figure in the room that is not a member of your party looks shocked.
They're not human slaves, they're friends.
Okay.
I see. I don't see it all. I have no idea why I said that. I suppose it's a turn of... Who are you?
Perhaps.
My name's Oriana.
Nice.
Ace.
I think
And
you know our...
Where's Sepsis?
I did. Ace is like just holding.
Oh, thank God.
If you are so enlightened as to not keep fellow living beings as slaves, why do you travel with this one?
Unfortunately, the rest of the world hasn't really caught up.
And we're trying to clear our names by helping on these guys on some mission.
Clear your names, why? What crime have you committed?
We say...
Well, other than humans that can cast magic?
You can cast.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
We're not at liberty to say.
Not
how's the
anywhere
dog
that
is right
exists
next to me?
anymore.
I have another question for you.
Yes.
What's west of Avalon?
Fuck knows.
Nobody will tell
They're
us.
dying to know.
Honestly, it's become a party game to ask an entire room that question and see what their response is.
Can any of you speak primordial?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't think we do.
No.
No.
Primordial, did you say?
Common, Gnomish, and Infernal.
Yeah, I only know Common, Dwarvish, and Gnomish.
What about
Common, Draconic, Elvish, Gnomish, Infernal, Orc, and Undercommon.
God, you got a lot of language. You just wanted to be able to pull everyone, didn't you?
Hard, man.
No, weirdly, Sepsis can't speak primordial either. But you can kind of guess from the room that when she asks that question, every other creature in the room that is not a member of your party, in some strange, bubbly, but also musical language that you can't quite understand, repeats exactly the same phrase in unison.
Let's just say we were raised differently to everyone else.
A lot more sheltered.
I was raised, it would seem, outside of the strange spell that influences everyone else here to answer that question in a certain way.
Do you know what's west of Avalon?
Just really, we would like to know.
No.
Shame.
But
Maybe one day we'll go and find out.
Know someone who does.
Oh.
We'd be interested to meet them.
Are you going to eat us?
Eat you?
I don't know. We've never met.
Oh, we predominantly feast on fish.
Pescatarian.
I thought so.
At a stretch, meat of mammals and land creatures, but not if we can help it.
Sorry, did we get your name?
My name is Asha.
Would you mind if I heal Benkin? Actually, they've treated us really well. He's spoken to us like, well, people.
He's kind of the nice one. It's his apprentice who's a little shit that needs spanking.
Yeah, right.
And Kane is still alive?
Yeah.
Regrettably. That's not true. I don't want him dead. I just want to slap him really hard a couple of times.
You've definitely met him then.
Oh, great pleasure, yeah.
I'd rather he stayed unconscious for this trip. You and your people, and I suppose by extension your friends here, have an open invitation by the matron mother to know the way to the Drow City. However, Benkin cannot be trusted. His ideologies, I cannot.
If it helps, he's been questioning them. We've broken some home truths to him recently.
I have one. Oh, that's the elves are raising humans from the dead.
Using them on the front lines. The automatons actually are humans.
Speaking of which, this is Fives, I think. Is that right? Is that the one we have with
This
us?
is Fives, yeah.
That's Fives, yes.
Fives is broken, and I don't have the capability to fix them, but I would really like to take them with us because the magic is still there, and I think they could be fixed. I'm just too tired.
I believe we have exactly the person you need in the city to help you fix it.
Good. Is there a way to transport them? I don't want to leave them here. It's not fair.
I can carry them.
My other Triton friends here will carry them.
Thank you.
We'll keep Oberkin unconscious.
Thank you.
Ken, why do I keep getting Oberkin? Ah!
I know.
I don't even ship it!
No, it's fine.
It's way too big of an age gap.
All right.
And also, you really don't like Anakin.
No, I don't.
But if you would please, I'm not certain I can trust all of you, but some of you, long as you
Harmless,
vouch for the
really.
others.
Wait, you're taking us to the Drow City, right?
The wonderful thing about D&D Beyond is you can silently roll dice in the background.
Yeah.
From above, you hear a trickle of stone.
Oh.
You look up in the air, and you see, upside down, clinging to the rock, the half-elf.
Oh shit!
We did forget about the half elf.
Oh!
I look up at her
I
and go,
cast Featherfall again.
I'm sorry.
She, as you're casting Featherfall, she turns and in a very graceful maneuver, rights herself, flips, and lands on the stone that flicks you. The rest of the Tritons turn their weapons to her.
No, she's
safe.
She's half elf.
Oh, I know. It's
Oh yeah, you probably.
no, it's not a race thing. She's very dangerous.
She's been nothing but sweet with us. I mean, she doesn't say much. I don't think she can. I think somebody else saw to that.
Do you know her name?
Lara,
Lara. That's pretty.
Hi, Lara.
she turns to you, smiles. And she is pretty, but now she's smiling and like properly looking at you. She looks about 12.
When you say she's dangerous, she seems pretty okay. I would hate for anything to happen to her in our care, despite that we forgot her while falling down a massive hole, but I'm going to blame the trauma of the situation.
And you have traveled with her safely?
Yes?
She had a group of Durgar that kept her chained for a while.
She has not gone into a fit of anger and attacked any of you?
No?
No?
I mean, nobody's given her any reason to be angry, I don't think. Well, I don't know, actually, having a bunch of Durgar chained to you.
They were really mean to her.
They're dead now.
Yeah.
She didn't do it.
And Aboleth did.
And their own stupidity.
And she looks at Lara. Has it worn off, young one? Are you under the influence anymore? And Lara just shakes her head. Very well. You are a group that is full of surprises.
Sorry.
I like to keep people on their toes.
Very well. I will escort you all, and we will take Fives as well, because I missed him, to the Drow City. It is a long walk, but as long as this is all of you, we should make it quite safely.
There are many others in the tunnels.
And
Then-
Kane and some orcs are together.
Orcs, halflings, a couple of elves who are equally
Useless.
snobbish, no offense. But they went a different path to us, and we were looking for somewhere to sleep when the floor collapsed because we're stupid and forgot to look for traps.
The tunnel you headed down?
Yeah.
Left, middle, or right?
Middle. They went, well, I'm not sure. I think they went to the right, but I can't be certain.
So either the left or the right. Speaks in primordial. So again, the bubbly musical language comes out of her mouth, and she turns to a couple of them, and they dive backwards very gracefully into the water. And as soon as they break the surface, it just goes still again, and they swim off. They will relay the message that there are others in the tunnel still looking. We will up our efforts. Now that Benkin has been lost, Ankin will.
Look for him.
They were also being
There is not
pursued.
much he will not do.
He's really upset at losing you. He thinks the drow killed you.
Who told you that?
Benkin.
Thinking.
Excuse me, not hear those words from Ankin.
No?
I don't get much out of his mouth other than some sort of racial slur and...
That is what Benkin? That is what Ankin has told Benkin?
I think so.
That is a version of what happened, I suppose.
Well, let's hear yours.
You can.
Maybe on the walk?
After you've had a chance to rest and heal.
Yeah, my one wing is just dropped.
It is not my decision whether to fully trust you all. It is up to the matron mother and her council. We will go to them first and see what they think. Come. You can follow at the front with me. Do not worry about the knight and our friend. You may follow behind me. I will keep you safe down here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
As you're walking around then, you're following the stone paths, you can see a few of the Triton males behind you pick up fives, toss Benkin just like a sack over one of their shoulders, and very powerful limbs walk not as quickly as you, as they're much more used to being under the water, but they do follow at a steady pace behind you. Asher in front is much more nimble, much better at being out of the water than they are. Stalks off quickly ahead, forcing you to kind of skip a little to keep speed with her. And as you get to the end of, the wall, there's a large portal, and you can hear an echo of a waterfall crashing below, but it is the portal in front of you is not where the waterfall ends. The waterfall ends below, but there is a waterfall completely covering the doorway on the outside of this room. And as you approach the door, she just waves her hands, and the curtain of water is split. So there seems to be now an archway made of water just standing in front of you, and a short, maybe foot hop, and there's a bridge leading down a tunnel. And she hops over the bridge, holds her hand up behind her, and just gestures for you to follow.
I follow.
You follow?
So you hop over
Follow.
again.
Yeah.
Everyone follows, and you start to walk. It maybe takes another half an hour, winding passages. You get to many different small caverns, most of which have 3, if not more, different exits to where you enter. But she just walks, completely sure-footed, doesn't even hesitate, and picks the first exit, the third, the second, the fourth, the third, knowing exactly where she's going, winding and winding and winding. You know, if you didn't have Oriana's compass, you'd never get out of this place ever again. And eventually, after half an hour of walking, you start to see a little light up ahead, shining around a corner. And she turns to you before you get to the corner. This is a city seen by very few. And I must have your promise now, while we are calm, and I may read your thoughts. I must have your promise now that on pain of death you will not disclose to the surface dwellers where this city is unless requested by the matron mother.
I promise. I don't think I could, but I promise.
We promised.
You asked where we were from. We did not tell you. We would not pass on the location of this place either.
Okay. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, unless you are willing for your thoughts to be read.
Oh, just read it.
I'm willing, yeah.
Sepsis would not be.
Oh,
Yeah, sepsis would not, but otherwise the rest of us are.
Jesus Christ, they've got +0 to wisdom.
Yeah, their wisdom really sucks.
3.
3. Okay. She in turn slowly looks Dice, Ace, Oriana, pats Cedric on the head.
The Pornhub music playing in Oriana's head.
And then just looks at Sepsis. She casts a very uncertain gaze at him. Them. At them. Sorry.
It's because Greg's pronouns are different.
I know. It's difficult. And I am
you
sorry.
don't struggle with it with me because they're the same.
No, exactly. I am sorry though. But with Sepsis, I will keep an eye on you, small one.
We all do.
For now, welcome to the Drow city of Lochlas.
What now?
And she stalks around it. Lochlas.
Lochlas.
And she stalks around the corner. And you see in front of you a cavern even larger than the Myconid graveyard. In this, you see elven architecture spreading out as far as the eye can see. But instead of crystal, most of it is made out of stone, worked, naturally shaped. There are lights of windows and street lamps that hang dull and blue, but giving a beautiful, like, moonlit aura to the entire scene. It is one of the largest cities you've ever seen, and it is teeming with life. And you get, even from here, a sense of calm. There is no one hurrying. There is no one before you as you look down to the streets, because you are raised up. There is no one with their head bowed, hiding out of the way. Everyone is content. There are even some who see the lights being held by the Tritons behind you as they step out of the cave as well. There are some heads below you who look up and give a wave and smile. And there are humans with no collars, no cuffs. There are goblins, there are gnomes, and there are drow in many different forms. Some hulking, large, covered in metal armor, black against their grey skin. But you can see in their dark grey skin, the cheekbones are kind of hinted with a blue, which then seeps into the blue and purple of their almost white hair, with just a blue and purple kind of sheen to it. And they do have the dark black eyes, bright glowing red irises, and they look at you with a smaller smile, a smile nonetheless. And as you look to the left and the right, you can see on the walls of the cavern webs everywhere. Spiders larger than you could have comprehended existed, crawling in and out of webs and holes far away. But they do not come anywhere near you. You can even see some of them being written by children. And the children laugh happily as the spiders run around as if they're writing ponies.
I turn to Ori very quietly and just go, maybe we could stay here. Looks like more fun.
If it wasn't for the... Well, actually, I suppose, yeah. I was going to say it wasn't for the damp, but...
It's not damp.
No, it's actually kind of warm.
Nice.
I don't feel like my armor will hold up very well in these conditions.
Asher kind of turns and looks at you all. Come. There is someone who greatly wishes to meet you. And she stalks off down into the town as you see a group of very heavily armored drow guard, black, almost sparkling armor. Looks to be made of some sort of star metal, at least to your eyes, Ace. Starts to stalk towards you, maybe 10 of them in total. They do not look aggressive. They're just stalking towards the entrance to meet the newcomers. And as they do, and they stop and part, as if to escort you then further into the city. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you got into the Underdark. You hid in the wrong room, or maybe the right room.
We did.
Depending on...
Yeah, I'd say that went okay.
I'd say that was the right room.
It was the room that hurt the most, probably, but
Yeah.
It was a painful room. I am quite injured.
Exiting the room was the painful part, I think. But yes, and you have made your way with some very quick talking, which Sepsis has been really annoyed about. Because you've just basically talked you into the Underdark by telling people exactly who you are, which is something he has been trying for 34 sessions.
Hey.
They have been trying for 34 sessions to convince you not to do.
Works.
Yes.
works well down here.
But yes, you have finally found your way to the Underdark.
Yeah,
So
Greg's going to have something to say.
Some words.
It's
will be
fine.
had.
I'll leave that bit out.
So, yes, everyone who has joined us for this episode, I don't even know how many people are watching. I was so engrossed. There we go. Yes, please, if you would like to check out previous episodes, check out our YouTube. If you can, please like and subscribe to the channel so we can get rid of the horrendous URL that you can see in the chat right now. But yeah, go and check out more. I have written the scripts. I am in the process of filming them. There will be very soon going up on the YouTube channel 3 short videos, 10 to 15 minutes long each. One doing a quick character introduction, and the other 3 are basically going to be episodes 1 to 12, 13 to 25, and then 25 to 35, just as a quick catch up. So that you don't have to, if you don't want to, watch them. I'm not lying, AD. I've written the scripts. I'm going to film them. It's very difficult with 4 kids and 2 full-time jobs. It's hard, okay? Right, but I have done it.
2 full-time jobs.
Is I think he means.
Okay. Shut up. But yes, last thing then before we go, please, if you can, remember last weekend of this month, 28th to 30th, noon till noon, this channel is going to run an epic gaming weekend for 3 charities. We're really excited for it. 48 hours. Please come along, support the channel, and if you can, click on the link that's just been posted in the chat, and if you can, donate what you can to either of any of those 3 charities. They're all good causes. But yeah, end of episode 35. Catch us same place, same time next week.
And hopefully Greg will be with us and not building a shed.
Yes, hopefully.
Which I'm going to go help with now.
And in fact, there may be...
I didn't understand that.
Shut up. In fact, there may be many days this week in which either I am streaming Baldur's Gate in eager anticipation of Baldur's Gate 3. So Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, 90s D&D game, will be run on our channel, twitch.tv/Dice of the Beholder. There's going to be Control on Tuesday from Millie, the wonderful player of Dice, our artificer, and possibly some other streams as well.
And Control's a really fun game, and last week I ended up fighting a fridge for 2.5 hours, so yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, apart from that, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Love you, Shane. Love you all. Stay safe. Take care.
Bye.
See you next week.